The road to $10,500 runs through the Bluegrass State. It's Kentucky Speedway. It's round number 10 of the NASCAR iRacing.com Series World Championship. Tim Terry, Nim Cross here to call all the action for you. And Nim, 39 of the best sim racers getting ready to attack the racetrack for 134 laps.
That's right, 200 miles. This is the first time that this series has tackled this track, and it's not an easy track. The turn-in points for turns 1 and 3 are very difficult to find. There's a lot of different grooves around the track, so it should be a very exciting race.
This NASCAR iRacing.com Series World Championship, as you mentioned, Nim, first time at this facility. They did run the NASCAR iRacing.com Pro Series finale at this racetrack. The Class A Series, which runs this same vehicle, has visited here a couple of times as well. So these drivers, albeit it's the first time in this series that they are here, they are no stranger to this racetrack. So you'll see a lot of guys that have run the A races throughout the first half of this week and throughout other seasons be strong here. I know Ray Alfala was putting in some time earlier tonight at this racetrack, and he was very strong. Of course, the champion from last season. Watch for the two to be strong on the outside of the front row here this evening.
Yeah, there's no doubt these drivers have a lot of time on this track through all the races this week, and they've definitely been preparing for it. Way to go. We're getting towards the second half of this NASCAR iRacing.com Series World Championship, and they want to be prepared. They're now where they need to be to make a run at their points, and if they're in a position to do so, they got to be ready.
And you look at those point standings right now, of course, the top 12 do get either cash or iRacing credit at the end of the season. $10,500 for the champion and the trip to Homestead, Miami, and currently Ray Alfala leading that over Mike Conti, 340 to 327 in the points. And I talked to Mike Conti last week on Tim's Corner Unplugged, my podcast, and I asked him, I said, so what do you expect going into these last couple of races? And he said, check back with me with about 3 or 4 races to go, and then I'll tell you if I'm really thinking championship. Right now, it's still in the balance. I can still reach out and grab that $10,500. I just need to be consistent and make sure I keep the 2 in my sights, and better yet, in the rearview mirror. Third place in points belongs to Nick Ottinger, Kevin King, Pat Baldwin in 5th, Sheehan, Carson McClellan, a fantastic season so far for the 46. Tyler Hudson, Brian Schoenberg, and Robert Hall complete your top 10, with Byron Daly and Cyril Nussbaum barely holding on to one of those top 12 spots.
Yeah, Ray Alfala is your defending champion in this series, currently leading the point standings, as Tim just said here in this series. And right now he's the fastest car in practice, and he'll be starting up towards the front of the field, I believe second position. Yeah, he'll be starting second in this race today. He's going to be tough to beat, Tim. He's really had a good handle on most of the tracks that we visit, and the biggest thing about Ray is he's consistent.
And we've seen a couple of races this season where he's been caught off guard by pit strategy, or he's been involved in somebody else's misfortune. And even with those, he seemed to rebound fairly well. And he's usually up in the top 10 when we throw the checkered flag in these races. So if Ray can keep doing that, he's going to be in that championship position. But you can't count out guys like Mike Conti, who will start in position number 8 here this evening. Nick Ottinger's always strong, qualified in position number 4. And we talk about the one drop race. Nick Ottinger missed Daytona. 17 race season. You drop your worst points, finish in those 17 races. Nick Ottinger right now just trying to reel off those top 5 finishes and put himself in the mix before the end of the season.
Yeah, he's a very good driver, and definitely possible he can do that. One other race that we need to watch in this Point Series Championship is the race for the 25th position. All these drivers need to finish in the top 25 in points to be guaranteed a spot in this series next season. If they don't finish in the top 25, they're going to have to requalify through this fall's Pro Series to make it into this series next year.
Let's get a camera on the number 91 car of Byron Daly as he does a couple of laps here at the Kentucky Speedway. If you're on Twitter, and I know a lot of us are, twitter.com/PSRTV is the PSRTV handle. You can see mine on the back of the number 91 on the deck lid, Tim Terry 0. You look at the hood of that race car. I know the camera's probably bouncing around a little bit here. That's our hashtag for this evening, Kentucky NiSWC. That's Kentucky NiSWC. You hashtag that. The best tweet picked by the PSR TV staff going to win $25 in iRacing credit. Once again, Kentucky and NiSWC. And want to thank JDR Graphics for that beautiful paint scheme that the 91 is running this evening. The Cooper Standard, Ben Lynch Racing, Tim's Corner Motorsports, number 91 as he comes on to pit road. We're getting ready to go down and start this grid. And might as well start it off now, Nim. On the front row, the number 6 of Steve Sheehan puts in a time of 30.408 for the pole position. And to his outside, the champ, the 2, Ray Alfaro.
Car number 2 on the inside has car number 52 of Patrick Baldwin. Outside him, car number 05, Nick Ottinger.
PS55 going to start in position number 5, Brian Schoenberg. And to the outside, it's the number 11 of Brad Davies.
Inside road number 4 is the number 30 car, Robert Hall. Outside him, your second place in points, car number 5, Michael Conti.
2 Pro Series drivers looking to make a splash. It's Philip Geis on the inside of row number 5 in 58. And on the outside from Halifax, Nova Scotia, Dylan Duvall.
Row number 6 is car number 60, Jason Karlovich on the inside. Outside him, car number 29, Kevin King.
Dumpy's going to start in position number 13. That's John Gorlinski in 21. And to the outside, Michael J. Johnson, number 39.
15th, John Adam will go, and car number 84. Outside him, Chris Overland, car number 47.
2011 Pro Series champion Alex Warren starts in 17th. And to the outside, the 16 is Tom Lewandowski.
Chris Main will go off 19th. To his right will be Tyler Hudson.
The driver we just talked about, Byron Daly, will roll from 21st. To the outside, it's the 40 of Josh Lawton.
23rd will be Brian Blackford. Outside him in 24th will be Jake Sturgis.
Chad Coleman will roll the 7th from 25th. To the outside, it's the Sea Giraffe, Josh Connors.
Starting 27th will be car number 89, Landon Harrison. Outside of him in car number 17, Brandon Bushberger.
Carson McClellan will roll off from 29th place. And to the outside, number 4, Florian Goddard.
Charles Cosper will go from the 31st position. Outside of him in car number 77, Andrew Fash III.
Vinny Sanzone will roll the 80 from 33rd. To his outside is the 25 of Richie Davidowitz.
Marcus Lindsay will go off 35th. Cyril Nussbaum, French Connection. Car number 99 will go 36th.
Completing the lineup here this evening is Josh Berry, 72, Thomas Hazard, 9, and Patrick Fogel, 51. The field will begin to roll off here momentarily as it looks like Steve Sheehan has already headed towards the racetrack along with Ray Alfala and the rest of this field. So we are 1 lap away from going racing, 134 laps. Nim, what is the key to being fast here and winning this race at the Kentucky Speedway?
Well, first off, to win the race, you got to be there at the end, and you need to stay out of trouble in the very beginning of this race. The drivers are going to need to settle in and get a nice, safe spot in the track so they don't get caught up in any wrecks. This track is very bumpy. The entries into the corners are varied, and that could cross a lot of lines and get yourself in a lot of trouble. So, you know, they're going to have to be very careful, and they're going to have to avoid the early incidents.
And I'm sure by watching a couple of these A races earlier in the week, I think we're going to be in for a couple of cautions here this evening, at least in the early going, especially when these tires are cold and these drivers are trying to find a place to run. 39 of the best iRacers getting ready to go green for the first of 134 laps around the Kentucky Speedway for round number 10 of the NASCAR iRacing.com Series World Championship. Glad you could be with us here on iRacing Live. The first racing Ford Mustang pace car getting ready to head to the infield. Steve Sheehan in control of this field, working through corner number 4, and here comes the Spy Optic Chevrolet. We are green.
Sheehan gets big jump out front, and he'll go out by about 3 car lengths. Patrick Baldwin is going to follow him through on the inside. Ray Alfala will have to slot into 3rd.
Alfala to the outside. Here comes Ottinger, the Ream Chevrolet, quickly to the inside of the Pro Geek Consulting Chevrolet Impala. It looks like Ottinger's going to fall back to 4th off corner number 2.
They're trying to get sorted out through the top 10. 3 wide back in the middle of the field, though, for that 12th position.
Dumpy around John Gorlinski in the Degree Chevrolet as it looks like, Brandon Buchberger's going to get in this one as well. Patrick Vogel involved, the 80 of Vinny Sansone. I believe that's the 77 of Andrew Fayash III. There's one car way up there against the wall. That's Richie Davidowitz. Marcus Lindsay. Might be easier to say who's not involved in this wreck here, Nim. Caution flag flies on lap number 1.
Yeah, going down the back straight away. They're being pretty aggressive there on the first lap. Going into corner number 1, looked like Kevin King had a bad start into the corner. Coming off down the back straightaway, he tried to pick up some of the spots by making the 3 wide down the back straightaway. Maybe there was enough room, maybe there wasn't, but him and the 21 car Gorlinski got together. That sent the Gorlinski down, spinning across the grass and back up on the track where collecting another number of other cars.
Yeah, there's a lot of cars that get through this wreck with out a whole lot of damage. I see Josh Connors barely makes it through. We might need to get a camera on the 99 as Cyril Nussbaum, the Mason Baker Designs, Tim's Corner Motorsports number 99. Oh, I don't know how Cyril missed that one, Nim.
Yeah, he missed a lot of spinning cars. Everybody was trying to get checked up, and a number of cars back there in the back ran into each other trying to get checked up, and Cyril just dodged a whole bunch of them. Looked like the bowling ball going through all the pins.
Tom Lewandowski has some damage to his race car. I believe Josh Berry may have barely made it through there in the 72 car. A lot of cars, over a dozen cars involved in this first wreck on lap number 1. As we see a couple of guys in the back come down into pit road, but it is Steve Sheehan out in front of the field, leading Pat Baldwin, Ray Alfala, Nick Ottinger, and Brian Schoenberg, your top 5. Was talking to Brian a little bit earlier on this afternoon here, Nim, and Brian said it's considered a win for that team if he can come home with a clean car and a top 10 finish, considering last week he was up here in the booth calling the race with us.
Yeah, he's definitely, he has some good runs this year, but last week he had to sit out due to some, a lot of incident points or infractions. So he missed last week, but he wants to make a good top 10 run this week. But I think pretty much most of the drivers will tell you they've had a really good night if they can finish in the top 10 of this series.
And Schoenberg, after that week last week on the bench, he's back to 9th place in the point standings. So he's looking to rebound a little bit. And right now, 235 points without that drop factored in. You have Pat Baldwin in position number 5, 4 positions ahead of him. And there's only 25 points there. So if Brian does have a good night and a couple of these drivers do struggle, you could see that 55 move up through the ranks of the point standings. And he's with that new team. He's rejuvenated. And I know he's got a smile on his face with J-Lo in his ear.
Yeah, definitely. And, like you said, all those positions are very close in points. So one good finish could move you up a whole bunch of spots right now. What you see on pit road is a number of cars out there who are involved in this accident. They have a certain amount of repairs that they have to do to their cars. Some of it's guaranteed or required repairs, and they need to stay in the pits and get those fixed. But sometimes you have repairs that are optional. So you can be in the pits and be working on those repairs, but you don't have to fix them. So they're going to go in and out of the pits while this is going on and trying to fix as much damage as can, but they don't want to lose a lap.
Lights are out. Next time by, we will be going green flag racing. Sheehan is your leader. Patrick Baldwin is in second. Ottinger, Alfala, Schoenberg, top 5. Mike Conti, Robert Hall, Philip Geis, Jason Karlovich, and Kevin King, your top 10. And we mentioned those drivers working their way up into this series through the NASCAR iRacing.com Pro Series, which will come up in the winter of the 2012 year. These drivers working their way up through the Class A Series, the guys like Karlovich, Philip Geis, Dylan Duval, and some others throughout this field. Those guys running strong here, looking to make a statement for next season's NASCAR iRacing.com Series World Championship. I believe Duval has at least one top 10 this season. A couple of these other guys looking to follow suit.
Yeah, he's going to be someone to watch next year. If he makes it into the series, he's still got to qualify through the Pro Series, but he's done a good job already by making it into the Pro Series through the first quarter of the 2012 season here on iRacing.com. This is the NASCAR iRacing.com Series World Championship, and we're about to go green again here on lap number 4.
We will complete lap number 4 this time by. We'll have 130 laps to go as you look at Ray Alfala's Pro Geek Consulting Chevrolet Impala pace car in. Steve Sheehan back in control of the field. Here comes the green flag, and we are back underway. Big spin of the tires by Pat Baldwin on the outside.
Yeah, Baldwin's holding up there. Ottinger outside on his rear bumper just a little bit. Ray Alfala, your point leader, down on the inside of the 05 car going into corner number 1.
If you're new to this series, the 05 of Nick Ottinger, one of those aggressive drivers known to make a few moves, and he made a few moves at Pocono that essentially cost him and Steve Sheehan the race 2 weeks ago, as it looks like 5 and 55, the teammates are battling for position there. Watch that 05 though, Nim. After last week, I'm sure he's looking to avenge what happened at Pocono.
Yeah, he definitely had a shot to win that race, and him and Sheehan were fighting each other a little bit hard, and that cost both of them a chance at that win. But definitely Ottinger is somebody who is challenging every week and could definitely be there for this one.
Mike Conti sporting a new paint scheme in the number 5. That's the R-Seat number 5 as he works around this Kentucky Speedway in position number 5, looking at Nick Ottinger for position number 4, the 5 and the 05 going at it.
You really got to be careful in these corners here. When you enter, the corner lends itself to, it looks like you just can dive in so much more than what you really can. So you really got to be gentle entering these corners, and you got to take care of the tires. You see a lot of drivers running right around about the second lane up, and that's the preferred groove here. But you don't want to overdrive the corners. As you go through the middle of the corner, you're just giving it slight throttle through the middle of the corner, and then you're giving it full throttle as you come off. But it is so easy to overdrive this track.
John Adams was your winner 2 weeks ago as he moves up. Right behind him, it's the Alex Warren machine underneath. I believe that might be Philip Geist on the outside line there as Tyler Hudson also making a move on the inside in the 01 car. The 91 of Byron Daly also making his move as these guys trying to find a place to race on lap number 8.
Everybody getting sorted out down the back straightaway. Looks like the 47 car of Chris Overland now looking to the inside of 91 of Byron Daly as they go into corner number 3.
Overland looking to pick up a spot in the Menards main performance PC number 47. Looks like he will do so here. Byron trying to find a hole in the line, and Chris Main's going to let him have it. Oh boy, that was close.
Yeah, I'm not sure Chris let him have it or Byron just said, I'm taking it, because he went down there and he put a little bit of a quarter panel on Maine. I'm sure Maine's not too happy about that. We'll see what happens in the next couple of laps or two.
You saw Kevin King move up a spot there in the number 29, the Alpine Stars Chevrolet, as he now closes in on his teammate, the 30 of Robert Hall. You look at the 05 now of Nick Ottinger. Ottinger is in this 4-car battle for position number 2, which Ray Alfalla just took away from Pat Baldwin.
Alfalla out front of this group as they go down corner number 1. Baldwin right there. All these guys packed up here just a little bit. That means somebody's holding somebody up here. Ray Alfalla just got around, so he's starting to pull away a little bit, but the Robert Hall car and the 05 car of Ottinger and Conte, they won't by also.
Patrick Fogel has retired his car for the evening. Richie Davidowitz and John Gorlinski are also in the garage area after that first incident as Alfalla begins to stretch away a little bit. Here comes Ottinger on position number 3. Pat Baldwin to the outside line, Ottinger to the inside.
Yeah, it's so easy down there on the inside to push in too hard and push up the track and get into that outside car, but Ottinger doing a really good job right now holding the outside line. Ottinger on the inside, Conte moving down the inside.
And you look at the 58 as well, Philip Geist, one of the Pro Series drivers, the 40 of Josh Lawton, Chris Main is there as well, as you look at the 05 of Ottinger as he continues to battle for the spot. Right behind him, it is Baldwin and now Mike Conti moving up.
Yeah, Conti's going to take that spot from Baldwin. Baldwin, a little bit of trouble here, maybe the setup just off a little bit here on the early going. Lap number 12, we had an early caution, and now the guys are trying to get their car sorted out, see how it feels before they make their first pit stop. Some of the guys in the back have already made a pit stop, but all the cars you see racing out front here, they haven't pitted yet, so they're still working on the cars, trying to see how they feel and see what they're going to do on their first stop.
Second place in points, Mike Conti has his hands full with Pat Baldwin. Baldwin now to the inside of the 5, looking to make a move for the spot. The 30 behind him, the 29 behind him. And we talked about it a little bit before we came on the air here, Nim. The team factor in iRacing, and especially in this NASCAR iRacing.com Series World Championship, just like the real counterpart, very key. 52, 30, and 29, all a part of Team Sim Chassis. Yeah,
they practice all week long. They race together, and they do a lot of laps, just like they're doing now, where they'll be running together out on the track and just to see how their cars handle. So, what you're seeing here is something that they've been doing all week long, and they know how each driver is going to react, and that's why they're racing so well together right now.
Down the back straightaways, the 52 is about to have company in the way of his teammate, the 30 of Robert Hall. Robert Hall has been strong all week long. From what I've been seeing, it looks like he continues to gain on the setup that he's put underneath his car. So watch the 30 to be strong by the end of this event. Still early, 14 complete right here for your leaders.
Yeah, the 29 car has passed a lot of cars early in the event. And there's a couple guys back here, I think, who have just, they found a good safe spot in the track. They're going to ride. They're going to let some laps get put in. We're working lap number 15 right now of 134. So still a long way to go in this 200-mile race. And right now, it's not time to go crazy yet. So if you found a good spot inside the top 10, it might be time just to ride right now.
Got some guys behind the 55 of Brian Schoenberg that are looking to move the 60. Jason Karlovich as Schoenberg is up in the wall in the Obuto Gaming Cockpits, number 55. As I'm sure J-Lo's trying to keep the 55 driver cool. As Karlovich, now here comes Duval, and the 39 of Michael J. Johnson will be looking to pounce as well. Duval pokes the nose underneath the 55.
55 car able to keep that momentum down the back straightaway, but Tim, hitting that wall this early in the race is no good. You could bend your toe, you can do all kinds of setup damage to the car, and it could be a real problem. As you see the 55 car, he does push a little bit coming off the corner there again, but it looks like he's still maintaining speed pretty good.
And that's one of the things, after possibly getting suspension damage to your race car or some sort of handling problem to your race car from hitting the wall, it's getting back in a rhythm and trying to hit your marks. And Brian Schoenberg is one of the best at that, to get back in the rhythm. And these guys, of course, being in this series, they know how to get in a rhythm fairly quickly. Looks like Brian Schoenberg has rebounded, as he hasn't lost any position on the rest of those guys that were behind him. He lost the one spot on Karlovich, but he looks like is starting to pull away a little bit from Dylan Duval in the 42.
Yeah, he's running right there. His car is a little bit squirrely coming off the corner. As you saw as he got on the throttle through corner number 4 that time, the back end stepped out just a little bit. So he's driving that car really hard right now. He got on the wall a couple laps ago, a little squirrely coming off of corner 4 that time. He's right on the limit. And when you're riding, we talked about before about finding the safe spot on the track. The one thing about that too is once you're in what you believe is the spot that you're comfortable in, you don't want to give up those positions. So when you see the guys in back of you starting to get a little bit closer, you start driving a little bit harder. As we see him getting squirrely again coming off corner 4 there, and now that lets the 42 down the inside get that position.
Yeah, Schoenberg had a handful off corner number 4. Duval brushing up the racetrack. Great save by Dylan Duval to keep it off there as the 39. Now he looks underneath the number 42.
Yeah, the 42 car, they're a little bit touching there. Michael J. Johnson back there went a little bit lower, trying to make it 3 wide just a little bit. Maybe it wasn't trying to make it 3 wide. Maybe he was just trying to get out of the way of those guys and getting himself in the safe spot. Now we're looking at the in-car of Dylan Duval, looking ahead to Schoenberg right there. Schoenberg has that spot, and now Michael J. Johnson's trying to get that position from Duval.
I have a half eye nim on this 58 and 40 battle. Josh Lawton and Philip Geis, and it looked like they got fairly close off corner number 4 the last time by. Josh Lawton, it looks like he's backed off just a little bit now after a close call there. You want to talk about guys hitting the wall and having issues early. We're still on lap 20 of this 134 lap race. If you have issues now, it's going to be a long night for you.
Yeah, this track is so hard. It's so bumpy, and like I said, the lines vary so much. Like we saw Schoenberg do, he gets on the wall a little bit. It's so enticing just to get on that throttle. The corners are so long, to get on the throttle a little bit early and push the car really hard coming off the corner. It is definitely a driver's track, but it's a track that lends itself to look like it's a lot faster than it is, and you just got to be really careful in these corners.
And just in front of that battle is the 89, the Viper, Landon Harrison, as he continues to work his way up in the Viper Technologies number 89. The 42 is dropping back, as it looks like Dylan Duval going to lose a couple of spots to Alex Warren in the 47. Now Chris Overland looking on the outside.
Looks like the 46 car of Carson McClellan now looking to the inside of the 84 car of John Adams for position, and he'll pick up that spot.
Been a great season so far for the number 46 of Carson McClellan. Top 10 in the point standings, currently running in P7. Very strong top 5 run 2 weeks ago at Pocono. Watch the 46 to come to the front of this field. He's one of those drivers that you really don't talk about a whole lot in the first couple of laps of these races, but by the end we hit the quarter to go mark or so. The 46 seems to be up at least in the top 10 and somewhere close to that top 5.
38, Chris Main just took a position away from Tyler Hudson, and that'll move Chris Main in the 38 car up to the 15th position.
Tyler Hudson just behind that number 38 has had a solid season as well. 8th place in the point standings for the number 01 of Tyler Hudson is just in front of them. The battle continues to rage on. 47, 42, 47 drove that car hard into corner number 1 and did not get it to stick. 42 will take the spot over Overland.
Yeah, Duval, we saw a few laps ago, he was up racing a lot higher position than he is now, and you can see he's fighting that car back and getting a little squirrely coming off of corner number 4 right there. The 82 car of Alex Warren is your Pro Series champion from last year. He's currently running in the 11th position.
And the 91 and 38 continue to close in on this battle as well, Nim, as we get some green flag laps in here. The guys that have the long run setups underneath their race cars are going to start to come to the front and start to get a little bit stronger. Byron Daly is one of those drivers who likes the long run, and you can see it as the Twitter car closes in on the 47 and 42.
Yeah, this is always a really good, interesting part of the race where you do see a lot of these guys who are holding back and taking care of their cars, and knowing that they have a setup that is better for long run, just waiting, and now they're starting to make their move out. Lap number 26 is you'll see some other guys struggling, like we see Duvall struggling, we saw Schoenberg struggling a little bit, and now we see cars like Alex Warren and maybe Chris Overland starting to come up through the field here a little bit. So right now is a very interesting part of the race. Is 91 car. You see Byron Daly coming also.
One car that is enjoying this long green flag run is your leader, Steve Sheehan. He is gone 2.7 seconds over Ray Alfala. He tacked on another 10th that last lap on his lead. Ottinger is 3rd, Conti is 4th, Baldwin is 5th. Looks like the closest battle right now on this racetrack, or the most exciting battle on this racetrack right now, is around 42, 47, 91, 38. Add the 82 in there as well. That's a battle for 11th on back.
Looking at that battle for P5 in the box up there, that's Patrick Baldwin and Robert Hall. Hall looks to the inside, going down the back straightaway. That's a battle for the 5th position. Hall's not able to make that happen, so he'll fall back in line.
Team Sim Chassis going for position number 5. As you look at the 91 as well, Byron Daly, as he tries to make a move, but the 38 made the move on him. Chris Main moves up one spot over the 91 as the 38 is in the wall. Crossover, here comes 91 to the inside.
Yeah, the 91 car to the inside of Chris Main. Up on the outside is 46 car Carson McClellan. He's not going to be able to make a challenge though, and he'll have to fall back in line, back up in the 5th position. We have a battle down to the inside, the 52 down to the inside, or the 30 car down the inside. He'll take up that spot and move his way into the top 5.
And it looks like the 46 at the same time. Nim will take over position number 15, move Daly back to 16th. Carson McClellan picks up one more spot. He's in P15 now.
Robert Hall making a nice move, kind of quiet. He's just been kind of running a little bit here and there, picking up spots here and there, but now he's moved his way into the top 5, and he might be somebody to contend with as this race goes on.
Looking at Robert Hall right now, Patrick Baldwin and Kevin King. That's Team Sim Chassis right now running 5th, 6th, and 7th. Their teammate is on the way, Nim, but Carson McClellan a little bit farther behind in position number 15. So Team Sim Chassis running well, and JRM running well as well. They have the top 2 spots.
Yeah, JRM's been tough all season long with Sheehan and Alfala. They're definitely the team to beat, and those guys are just top-notch every single week. So we'll see if Sheehan, he's had a couple of troubles, even though he's been fast, had a little bit of trouble in some of these races and not gotten to finish these one. We'll see if he can keep it together right now out to a 3.4 second lead. Currently the class of the field. We'll see if he can hold on to that through all the race. Coming up with about 102 laps to go this time by, so we still got a long way to go.
Here comes the 52 on the inside of the number 30, Patrick Baldwin, now on the inside of Robert Hall for the spot as they come up on lap traffic. That's Andrew Fayash III in front of this battle for position number 5.
Fayash III involved in that first wreck. He's got some damage on the car. He's going to move to the high side. The 52 car will retake that 5th position and move his way back into the top 5. Kevin King is now joining this battle, currently in 7th. He's been maybe a little bit quicker than these guys, and he's going to want by.
And as those guys battled side by side, it closed in Kevin King, and now King looking underneath the number 30 of Robert Hall for the spot. I'm sure they're on the same voice communication channel, and maybe they're trying to put something together for a strategy, because if they continue to battle him, it's going to close in Jason Karlovich. Karlovich looks like his car is starting to come in.
Yeah, I was just looking at him back there. Jason Karlovich back there, he's quietly brought his way up through the field also, and he's been just following Kevin as he's made his way through the field. Jason Karlovich is having a really good run right now.
as he continues to close in from position at number 8. Your leader continues to be Steve Sheehan by now 3.5 seconds over Ray Alfala. The battle continues to rage on for position number 3 as Michael Conti shadows Nick Ottinger for that spot, and Pat Baldwin completes your top 5, 6.5 seconds behind your leader.
Seems like whenever, Baldwin got past Hall this time, Hall last time was past Baldwin. Those two guys, they kind of run better when they're following somebody, and that's a lot of drivers do that. When somebody's out in front of you, you'll run better when you're following somebody, just because you'll be able to see their line and you adjust a little bit. So sometimes your drivers run quicker when they're behind somebody than when they're out front of somebody, and that's why what you might see here with the 52 car and the 30 car, as each time one of them gets out front, the guy behind has a really good challenge. And now we look at Robert Hall challenging the 52 car as they go down towards turn 3.
Hall looking to take that spot away, is a couple of positions back there. Carson McClellan picked up 2 on Byron Daly, and Chris Overland lost 1 position there in that exchange, as well as the 30 continues to look on the 52 of Pat Baldwin for P5.
You're right, in car with Robert Hall right now, looking ahead to Patrick Baldwin. You see Baldwin, Hall, as he closes in on Baldwin, as he comes up corner number 2, he tries to keep that momentum down the back straightaway, but Baldwin's able to keep that, get the drive off of the corner, and Hall's not able to make a challenge.
29 at Kevin King and the 60 at Jason Karlovich look on from positions number 7 and 8 as this battle continues on for the spot. I do believe there might be a battle back here around Alex Warren. Actually, Alex Warren passing the Fayash machine, which is currently 1 lap down, completing your just outside your top 10 right now. It looks like Duval and the 46 might be going at it as well, 13th and 14th. Oh, little bump maybe to the 42.
Yeah, it looked like a bit of a nudge there with the 46 of McClellan, letting 42 car know that he wanted by. The 42 car obliges and lets him by, and that will move Carson McClellan up into the 13th spot.
Yeah, that 46 car is one of those cars that continues to come into the long green flag run. The 91 of Byron Daly is also moving up through the field.
Steve Sheehan out front now by about 3.7 seconds over the second place car, Ray Alfala. We're going to start thinking about pit stops at some point here, Tim. We're probably a little more than halfway through this pit cycle. Working lap number 38 right now, starting to work lap number 39 as Steve Sheehan crosses the line. I would assume they're going to go probably around 60 to 70 laps on this set of fuel and tires.
I think that's about right. We'll have to watch and see what happens there with those guys as the 42 and the 91 navigate lap traffic right now on lap number 39 around position number 14 right now.
You see that's Chris Overland working his way around Fayash. Byron Daly now looking to the 42 car. 42 car of Dylan Duval was up higher in the standings than you see now, and he struggled on this long green flag round. Now as Byron Daly looks to his inside, coming off corner number 4, he'll try to get that pass done, get position down through the tri-oval here, and get that pass done going into corner number 1.
As Byron Daly picks up that spot, the 42 of Duval will fall back 1 spot, and I'm looking back here just a little bit behind them. The 58, the 89, 72, and 03 are going at it for a spot, led up by Philip Geis, Landon Harrison, Josh Berry, and Charles Cosper. That's the battle for 18th on back.
Dylan Duval still struggling a little bit. Next time, the next car to get by or challenge him will be Chris Overland. It looks like the Duval car, even though he's struggling a little bit, he's still running pretty smart, Tim. Whenever somebody comes up to challenge him, he kind of just moves over and lets him go. He knows he's got some adjustments to make, and he knows it's still early on in the race, and there's no real, it's not a good idea to take a lot of risk right now. So when somebody reaches him, he kind of lets him go. I guess he's waiting for that next pit stop to see what adjustments he can make and then challenge from there.
Your leader of the race is Steve Sheehan by 4 seconds over Ray Alfala, Nick Ottinger, Michael Conti, and Pat Baldwin. Your top 5, and I'm looking back here. 29 cars still remain on the lead lap all the way back to the Sea Draft. Josh Connors, who is 26 seconds now off the pace. Thomas Hazard, Jake Sturgis, Andrew Fayash III, and Tom Lewandowski are all 1 lap down. Brad Davies is 2 laps down. Everybody else out of the race. Marcus Lindsay, Vinny Sansone. Actually, Sansone is still on the racetrack, 25 laps down. John Gorlinski, Richie Davidowitz, and Patrick Fogel have all retired from the event.
Yeah, we had the big wreck on lap number 1. Had the first 4 or 5 laps under caution, and since then we've been green all the way. And Steve Sheehan has been dominant so far. He's got a 4.3 second lead, as Tim just said, over Ray Alfala, and then everybody's pretty grouped up from there all the way back through, or somebody's got somebody to fight with them. But right now, Sheehan running through the field.
You ride on board Robert Hall in the number 30, looking up at Pat Baldwin. Baldwin running in position number 5. Robert Hall in position number 6 as they continue to work here on lap number 44. This time by the stripe, they will have 90 laps remaining.
Yeah, these guys have pulled away from Kevin King. King about 8/10 to 9/10 of a second behind this battle now. When these two guys were battling side by side, King was able to pull right up there. But now, as we get around 40 laps into this run, maybe King falling off the pace just a little bit, and now you can see him falling in the clutches right now of Jason Karlovich.
Thomas Hazard is on pit road. He is 1 lap down in the number 9 car as the 30 and 52 continue to go at it. Looked like the 30 had a run off corner number 2, just really no place to put it, as the 52 car of Patrick Baldwin continues to maintain that spot.
Yeah, he's running down a real low line through corner number 3 and 4 there, right down into the single lane, and that allows the 30 car to get a little bit of run as the 52 pushes up the track at the exit of the corner. So the 30 car of Robert Hall will make a challenge coming down into corner number 1 right now. The 30 car, maybe a little bit of a touch going down corner number 1, but the 30 car of Robert Hall will pick up that position.
So move the 52 back to position number 6, and Robert Hall is now up in the top 5 as they close in on lap traffic. That is the 41 of Jake Sturgis, who won our race earlier this season at the Las Vegas Motor Speedway. It's a tough break for Sturgis after being involved in that lap 1 wreck. He will be going 1 lap behind the pace as the 30 and 52 put him in the rears.
Yeah, now, like we've seen before, now that Robert Hall's out front, the 52 of Baldwin may be challenging him a little bit. It looks like Hall did pull away just a couple of car lengths there, so maybe he's having none of it this time. But Robert Hall in the top 5, 8 seconds behind your leader, about 2.2 seconds behind your 4th place car of Michael Conti.
33 just made up spot on the number 99, a Cyril Nussbaum. Those were the 2 Mason Baker Designs cars, 33 and 99, as looks like Blackford and Nussbaum exchange position number 24. And Nussbaum a little bit off the pace here. It looks like he might be looking towards pit road here in these next couple of laps as he loses 1 more spot to Coleman.
Yeah, he got really loose in the center of corner number 3 and 4 that time. Maybe heated up the tires, the rear tires just a little bit too much, but he had to get out of the gas and correct it. He looks to be okay now, but he's suffering on those old tires.
And we did see a couple of those guys in the back decide to come down pit road early, so it might be something to watch for the 99, a Cyril Nussbaum, maybe to come down a little bit early and short pit a little bit here as he closes back in on the GSRacing.net number 7 of Chad Coleman. That's back for about position number 25 and about 22 seconds behind your leader, Steve Sheehan, who now has a 4.7 second lead on the rest of this field.
Well, a driver, if a driver wanted to make it a one-stop race, they could make it if they can make it to lap 68, they could make it a one-stop race, but I don't think that that's possible. It's certainly a long way to go. So I think everybody's going to be looking at a 2-stop race and going from there. I don't think anybody can make it a one-stop race. It's possible, though, 100 miles.
We'll see what happens here as the 16 car of Tom Lewandowski goes a lap down. Here comes the Sea Giraffe of Josh Connors, and he's going to get passed by the number 6 of Sheehan as well. So the Sea Giraffe moves 1 lap down the Ultra 4 Sim Tim's Corner Motorsports number 15 car, and he's been trying to possibly catch a caution flag here, and if he can catch a caution here, Nim, he would be the lucky dog and get that lap back, so I'm sure that's what he's hoping for.
Yeah, definitely wants to get caution now before the leader, as you see, you're riding with the leader right now, of Steve Sheehan. He wants the caution to come out now, because as soon as Sheehan passes somebody else, then that's going to give the lucky dog to that driver.
Cyril Nussbaum down onto pit road in the number 99 car, and being reported that he could possibly be having some pedal problems on that race car as well. And we talk about drivers racing from the comfort of their own homes. Nim, they are racing with steering wheel and pedal sets. Some are racing different pedal sets than others, so possibly Cyril having a little bit of hardware issue here as well.
Yeah, you'll see a lot of these drivers will actually have cockpits that they sit in and drive. You know, they'll have their racing seats and steering wheels and pedals that are all hooked up, and they look like they're in a racing cockpit. You know, so that, you know, they're really taking the simulation a little bit further. Some guys just have a desk, and they have their wheel and pedals hooked up to their desk, and they're racing with their computer monitor right in front of them. So there's a lot of different setups that these guys have, but no matter what setup they have, they're able to compete, and you know, they're able to race in this NASCAR iRacing.com Series World Championship.
Jake Sturgis has spun at the mouth of pit road. It looks like he will get going again, as the 46 will also pick up a spot on Chris Main. Main will fall back one. That's the battle for 12.
It looks like Sturgis may have gotten on the banking transition just a little bit and locked up those rear tires, and that sent him down. Nosed it in the wall just there a little bit, and that's going to cost him some damage on that car. So not a good night for Jake Sturgis, who won, I believe it was, at Las Vegas just a couple months ago.
82, 46, 38. That's the battle for position number 11 right now. 13 seconds behind your leader. It looks like one of the closest battles on the racetrack right now, as Josh Berry also has his hands full in the back of the field. I see the 99 of Cyril Nussbaum passing the 89 of Landon Harrison. That's what new tires will do, as the 99 nearly gets into the 72.
Yeah, this is one of the most dangerous times on the track right now. You have some cars out there with new tires on, some with old tires on, and that makes a big speed difference in all of these cars. So, like you see Cyril running up past Josh Berry there. Cyril has fresh tires on. It feels like Superman. He's able to drive into the corner a lot deeper than he was just a few laps ago, and the car just sticks. And he's out there with other drivers who don't have those new tires on, so they're running different lines, and they have to slow up at different points. And it's the same with all these drivers out there. It's a really dangerous time for these cars.
82, 38, 91, all coming onto pit road from just outside the top 10. Warren, Main, and Daly going to come down to get their service now.
Steve Sheehan still out in the track right now, 5.4 second lead over. And now Sheehan, your leader, is making his way to pit road. So lap number 56 for Steve Sheehan.
And it's going to be the same for Ray Alfala as well, and I believe Mike Conti behind him. Oh, Conti nearly slides it onto pit road. He saved it. Great save by the 5 of Mike Conti. That could have been big with the point leader in front of him.
Nick Ottinger is your new leader, race leader, so he'll pick up a point there for leading the lap. But we'll have to see if Conti may have had a problem with that speed zone there, Tim. I'm not sure if he got in there okay or not.
And Sheehan had issues getting into his box as well, as you saw it there. The 6 had that 4.5 second lead, and it looks like he might need it here with a little bit of issues on his pit stop.
Number of other drivers making their way on the pit road, everybody making their way back out. They need to get this done. Remember, we had a couple of drivers pit during that first caution flag, so there are going to be a number of drivers out there who can go about 5 or 6 more laps than some of these drivers that you see. A lot of guys on new tires just knifing their way through the guys on old tires. So you see these guys who pitted early out there on the track really slow right now, and they want to have a caution so they can get a yellow flag and be out there out front.
Nick Ottinger onto pit road in the 05 car. I believe he's bringing Robert Hall along with him in the number 30. That should complete your cycle up in front. I do believe, no, Carson McClellan does stay out, and the 46 car will lead a lap here.
Yeah, Chris Overland making his way on the pit road. Charles Cosper is also staying out on the track. The number 5, Michael Conte, he's already made a pit stop. He's currently running 19th. He's out on the track right now.
Cosper should be in this time by, as I believe Carson McClellan will also head on to pit road after he gets the bonus point for leading a lap. Here comes 46, and here comes the 03 of Charles Cosper onto pit road. So that should cycle through most of the drivers, as Nick Ottinger is leaving pit road now.
Ottinger heads off pit road. Alfala working his way by as Michael Conte is. So Ottinger will rejoin the track somewhere about 6th position or so.
I stand corrected. Brian Blackford stays out on the racetrack in the 33, and Blackford is your leader in the Simplex Media Solutions Chevrolet.
17 of Brandon Bushberger having some problems coming in the pit road for making his pit stop. He spun it around and actually did a loop there at the entrance to pit road. Andrew Fash III had to dodge his way around, but Brandon Bushberger having troubles in the pit road.
Brian Blackford coming onto pit road now in the number 33. That should, I believe, hand the lead over to the 6 of Steve Sheehan. And we'll see where everybody else cycle out in just a few moments' time. But Blackford onto pit road in the 33 car.
This is going to work well for Sheehan. Is probably going to work out to about a 6 or 7 second lead that he has over the what will soon be the second place car of Ray Alfala.
And we're closing in very quickly on the halfway point of this race. 61 laps being worked on the board right now. Sheehan will be your leader, and I believe, Nim, as you mentioned, 5.6 seconds on the third place and what's about to be second place driver, Ray Alfala. As Sheehan comes up out of 4 here, he'll cross the line, complete 61, and be your leader.
Yeah, just total domination so far by Steve Sheehan. He's just been a hot knife through butter as we see the car that he's lapping there. I believe it's a 4 car. Florian gets up. Gets in the track, or gets in the wall there just a little bit, but everything's okay. And Sheehan out front by about 5.5 seconds.
Little anxious moment there between 72 and 84 is the 11-16 also involved in this battle. The 89 of Landon Harrison just in front of it. Josh Lawton in the 40 is also in this mix as well. A couple of close moments there in those laps after pit stops. But we stay green flag racing on lap number 62. Your leader continues to be, as we mentioned, Steve Sheehan as he puts Vinny Sansone one more lap down.
Yeah, Ray Alfala 5.5 seconds. Well, the 77 car, Andrew Fash, the third's in trouble.
So Andrew Fayash spins it, but we are still green flag racing here as Steve Sheehan comes up at a corner number 4. 63 laps completed this time.
Yeah, it looked like Andrew got in the wall coming off of corner number 4 right there, and back in the wall coming off of corner number 2, but able to actually spun down the front straightaway.
So he grabs a gear again and gets going as he is now shown in position number 31, 2 laps behind the pace for the 77 of Andrew Fayash III. And he was one of those drivers last season, Nim, that came so close as he's going to almost loop it coming onto pit road. Got to get on the binders in order not to. Oh, he saved it again coming onto pit road. Had to throw a couple of saves out there for the number 77. But he was one of those drivers, as I mentioned last season, just barely missed a cut for the top 25. Had to go through pro. And I believe barely made the cut in pro to get into this series once again. So Andrew Fayash III looking to catch a break here.
Yeah, he's currently 31st in points and struggling so far this year. He's not making a top 25 cut so far this season, and if he doesn't, he will have to requalify through pro again for next season.
.4 seconds is your gap between your top 2. Michael Conti is in position number 3 as Chad Coleman just in front of your leader, Sheehan. Sheehan has to dive it in hard to put Coleman 1 lap down.
Yeah, Coleman up top there, he's able to get by there. Brian Blackford, just behind these 2 guys. But that's the biggest struggle right now that Sheehan has is working his way through lap traffic. You see he gets a little bit of a wiggle coming off of corner number 4 right there. So his car not totally perfect, but still perfect enough to be working his way through this field.
Yellow flag is out for the second time this evening on lap number 66.
Looks like Josh Berry is in trouble coming down the back straightaway. Looks like he got, coming off corner number 2, he got the car loose and spun her down the back straightaway, did a 360, but was able to keep going.
And all by himself in the number 72, and the caution flag will fly after a lot of green flag laps, and that's one of the worst feelings that you can have after that long green flag run, and you're the driver that brings out the caution flag, and you did it all by yourself. A tough break for Josh Berry as he will rejoin the rear of this field and see what he can do in the second half of this event as we are on lap number 68 right now.
Well, we had pit stops about 10 to 12 laps ago through most of these drivers. So we'll have to see who comes down pit road. They can make it, let's see, 134 from here. It'll be tough to make it from here, but some teams might be able to stretch it from here. So I bet you we do see a lot of cars coming to pit road.
Could we possibly see the last lap of caution? Because we're going to have a couple of laps of caution here, Nim. Maybe come down and top off the tank?
Well, top off the tank, yeah, I don't know what's going on with tires, if they're wearing so much. It definitely has a speed difference between new tires and fresh, so it could be a number of different combinations. We'll see. We'll have to see as they come down pit road. Sheehan was on the apron and at least faking that he's going to come to pit road, but I believe he will.
And here comes most of your leaders onto pit road. The drivers that are coming down, our lead lap cars, making the opportunity to come down to pit road. Steve Sheehan leading Ray Alfala in the 2, and Mike Conti in the 5, along with Nick Ottinger and Pat Baldwin.
Yeah, the cars that you saw in your camera shot right there that stayed out in the track, they are lap down cars. They're not able to pit this time by. All lap down cars must pit on the next lap or beyond, but they can't pit with the lead lap cars.
Steve Sheehan in the Spy Optics Chevrolet going to take at least 2 right side tires. I'm sure they're packing that thing full of fuel. Does he take 4? Yes, he does. 4 tires and fuel for Steve Sheehan in the number 6. He's down and away, and he will handily win the race off pit road.
Yeah, a little bit too early here probably for anybody to be doing anything with tape. We got 50-some laps to go, so you're not going to see anybody screwing around with tape or anything like that. It's too early for that, but maybe if we have a caution later in the race, you'll see some guys try to put some more tape on the car and be a little quicker that way.
We're about to step away for a quick break. Hashtag Kentucky NiSWC. Head over to Twitter, send us a tweet. You could win a $25 iRacing gift card. That's hashtag Kentucky NiSWC. Don't go away, race fans. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Kentucky Speedway and round number 10 of the NASCAR iRacing.com Series World Championship. Your leader is scored as the number 6, as Steve Sheehan, Ray Alfala 2nd, Michael Conti 3rd, Byron Daly 4th, and Kevin King completing your top 5 here.
And now you'll see these. What you see happening going on right now is 1 lap to go until we go green again, and all the cars who are in front of your leader, they're going to get waved around the pace car, and they'll be able to make up a lap. Steve Sheehan, Ray Alfala, Michael Conti, they're going to form up for the restart, and those guys who had just pitted under the green flag stops, this isn't too bad of a time for them to make up this lap and stay out there. Usually, though, if you have a lot of laps on your tires, it could be a disadvantage, but these guys don't have too many laps on the tires, so they're not too much of a disadvantage right now.
Kentucky NiSWC, we said it as we went to break. We'll show you the number 91 car, and he'll show you the hashtag on the hood of that car. Kentucky NiSWC, $25 for the best tweet, as picked by the PSR TV and iRacing Live staff. And, of course, have some fun. Join in on the conversation. Hashtag Kentucky NiSWC. You can follow JDR Graphics at JDR Graphics. You can follow myself at Tim Terry 0. You can follow PSR TV at PSR TV. The Cooper Standard is on there as well on the number 91 of Byron Daly. Great job by JD Laird and JDR Graphics for that number 91 car. The First Racing Ford Mustang pace car is getting ready to head to the infield with Steve Sheehan and Ray Alfala in command, as they have been all race long for the first 71 laps of this event. Lap 71 will be completed this time by as the pace car ducks into pit road right here. Sheehan is in control of the field, and he puts the hammer down, and we are back underway. Great start by Conti as well. Conti is going to take second.
Yeah, that's your battle for the championship right there. Michael Conte now gets out in front of Ray Alfala, and that's going to get him 1 point towards his championship efforts right there if he can finish there. But all these drivers now have 2 pit stops on, and they're able to make adjustments to their cars, so we'll see if anybody's going to have anything to challenge Steve Sheehan for.
Kevin King runs 29 in position number 4 now as Nick Ottinger completes your top 5. As drivers shuffle around here a little bit, side by side between Karlovich and Hall for position about number 9 or so. As Karlovich tries to take it away, Robert Hall slams the door.
Yeah, Hall, one of your guys challenging up in the top 5 on that long green run. He's found his way through these pit stops back into the 8th spot. Karlovich right behind him had a good consistent run so far, but the 55 car now on fresh tires. He's always up there challenging and being exciting early on. He's getting behind by the 39. But right now, everybody trying to get sorted out, so we have another long green flag. Alex Warren working his way down on the inside of Michael Johnson there.
The 55 moves up the spot, as you mentioned there, Nim. The 82 of Alex Warren going to try to lick the bones of the number 39 of Michael J. Johnson. Johnson on the outside, Warren on the inside. 46 looks on as well of Carson McClellan. The 42 with Dylan Duval there as well. 39 will fall in behind the number 82 for that spot.
Everybody still gets sorted out, working lap number 74 of 134. So about 60 laps to go from here. Probably have to still make another pit stop for fuel, but the 47 car looking, trying to work his way under McClellan as they head down towards corner number 1.
Change for position number 4 as Nick Ottinger goes up to the spot. Kevin King moves back to position number 5, as it's what we're seeing right now, and you see it in the back of the pack as well here, Nim. Very quick passes on these restarts. You see the 47 try to make the move on the 46 back there, but very quick passes, and those guys move on and try to pick up some more spots. The drivers that aren't very good, as Alex Warren nearly blocked the farm off corner number 4. He's going to stack some guys up behind him. Here comes the 39, and he's going to block the 42 into the grass.
Yeah, the 42 had check up right there as they bumped each other a little bit. The 42 got caught out just a little bit right there, but he was able to save it. The 30 car and the 66 car of actually they're working their way by. So the 30 car of Robert Hall and Jason Karlovich are working his way up in the top 5.
And you saw what happened there with those positions being so key, a little bit of a block there, and it all trickles down the line as now the 42 looks back at the 47 for position number 13 right now as Overland tries to hold off Duval.
Looks like Duval is going to pick up that position as they go through corner number 1, and Duval is one of those guys got caught out where that checkup happened there, but he's able to save it, so he's going to have to get those positions back that he lost.
And as we mentioned off the hop of this restart, just trying to make those quick passes and pick them off. Unfortunately for Duval, after being put down there on the apron, he had a couple of those passes go away quickly. Now he's going to have to take the time and go back and go at them again. We're looking at the 40 right now with Josh Lawton, and he's got a field behind him. The 03 and 38 are side by side, as are the 58 and 84.
Yeah, coming off corner number 2 right now. The very hard corner to exit as we see the 38 of Chris Main getting a little bit squirrely coming off of that corner. He's still got the Charles Cosper car down at his inside, and Cosper will pick up that spot.
58 and 84 side by side for that spot. Philip Geis on the inside. John Adams, the winner from Pocono, on the outside line. The Viper, Landon Harrison, is also closing in. And I know he's gearing up for GT5 Academy. I think they do that out at Comic-Con, so I know he's trying to get that out there as well as the 89 and the 84. That's the side-by-side battle for position. Looks like the 89 car has that position right now. The 84 car
Will is still working on a spot, currently running in the top 20th position right now. So everybody in line right now, but the 84 car challenging for that spot, and he wants it, but not able to make a challenge yet.
52 of Patrick Baldwin and the 29 of Kevin King are going at it as Patrick Baldwin to the inside line, Kevin King to the outside line. It closes in Robert Hall in the 30, the three Sim Chassis teammates battling for the spot.
Baldwin and Robert Hall battled each other early on in this race. Now Baldwin making his way back to the front. This pit stop didn't help these guys. They all lost a number of spots. King stayed about where he was, but Patrick Baldwin and Robert Hall, they both lost about 3 or 4 spots on this that last round of pit stops.
Steve Sheehan once again is starting to build his lead again, but it's 1.125 seconds on Mike Conti, so it's not as big as it was, Nim, but it's slowly growing to what it was on that long green flag run that we had. Sheehan, Conti, Alfala, Ottinger, and now Pat Baldwin, your top 5.
You know who's got to feel real good right now is Conti. He's lost just 1 or 2 points here and there in the points championship. Currently, still he's been the only one really fighting Ray Alfala all season long, and it seems like Alfala's in most races has come out on top. But right now, Conti's running out in front of Alfala, and that's, for the rest of this season, just this moment right here can be a game changer because he's putting the challenge to Alfala right now, and he's beating him. So he knows it's possible, he knows it can be done. So right now, these laps that you see right here may be very telling in the championship as we go forward.
And that's what it's all about, just picking off positions and getting those valuable points. I believe there was a couple of races where Mike Conti compared to Ray Alfala. There was a few positions between them, and I'm sure Mike Conti would want those races back. But in turn as well, Nim, there's been races where Ray Alfala has struggled, and Mike Conti has picked up a few points. So it's been back and forth all season long, and as you mentioned, coming in, it's 13 points between your top 2 in the point standings, and Michael Conti trying to close that in a little bit and maybe make it single digits by the end of the evening.
As you see Ray Alfala going down the back straightaway, he's got Nick Ottinger about 0.4 of a second behind him as Ray works his way through corner number 3 and 4, very smooth right down there, just outside the first lane, up in the second lane, very smooth coming off the corner. Conte looking outside, just about a second out in front of these guys, but everybody running very clean right now. Everybody's going to pit one more time for gas very late in the going, and they're going to have to choose whether they short pit and try to take on new tires so they can get a faster run through that second stint, or they're going to try to take this as long as they can and make their pit stop shorter and just stay out on the older tires.
And it looks like your top 2 right now, Sheehan and Conti, it looks like they're pretty much mirroring each other's laps. One is slightly faster than the other on one lap, and the other is slightly faster on the next lap. The last time by, Sheehan was faster than Conti, and it looks like this time by, Sheehan once again just a little bit faster than Conti, but not by much. It's still a second gap between your top 2.
Looks like Joshua Lofton is spinning through corner number 2. He's up in the wall and now spinning around at the top of corner number 2.
And that should draw a caution flag here. I believe he may have had a little bit of help between him and the 38 of Chris Main as they made contact, sending the 40 around and into the wall.
This is the 3rd caution of the night, and we'll probably see a bunch of drivers ducking down a pit road. Lap number 86 now, so this will be less than 50 laps to go. They should be able to make it on gas from here. As you see, the 38 car and the 40 car make contact going down the corner number 1 there, and that sends the 40 car up the track, and he gets in the wall. He tries to save it up there, but that bang into the wall was just a little bit too much, and he's spinning around, everybody able to get by okay.
And Chris Main coming into this race is 19th place in the point standings, 193 points. The cutoff for that top 12 to try to get a little bit of cash out of this, or a little bit of iRacing credit out of this season, Nim, is 226 coming in. So Chris Main really needs to have a great run here. If he does, it's going to move him closer to that top 12, and he'll get some sort of reward out of this season. Here comes Steve Sheehan, Mike Conti, Ray Alfala, and the rest of your lead lap cars.
Yeah, one thing too, a good race can get him up towards the top 12 in points, But right now, running where he is, 19th in position, a bad race could see him floundering around the 25th position, and he could be struggling to make this series next year. So, a good race to get him up towards money. A bad race could find him not in the series next season. So he's in a very precarious spot.
Sheehan looked like he had a good pit stop entry into his box. Right side's going on the Spy Optic Chevrolet. Left side tire is going to go up here now. And Sheehan going to get the 4 tires. And is he going to be the first off pit road? It's going to be close. Ray Alfala going to win the race off pit road here. I believe Ottinger may have got second.
Yeah, it looks like Sheehan maybe in the wrong gear there. Bogged it down a little bit, but struggled coming out of his pit box there. And looks like he's going to wind up in third.
So Sheehan, for the first time in this race, going to lose the lead here on a pit stop to, as we mentioned, Ray Alfala, Nick Ottinger. He lost the lead before on the exchange of green flag pit stops, but this is the first time that they've been on an even playing field, let's say, Nim, coming on to pit road altogether, and Sheehan has been beat on the racetrack. We'll have to see what he does in traffic now. Looking at some of these lap times here, Nim, as we come across the stripe here. Steve Sheehan is going to move ahead of Ottinger, I believe, but I believe that will go back there. The fastest lap of the race currently, at least for about your top 3 or so, is Steve Sheehan, 30.877 on lap number 73 of this event. Looking at the current leader, Ray Alfala, on lap number 58 was a 30.922, and Nick Ottinger in position number 3 right now, trying to look for his quick lap here, and it's on lap 60. It's a 30.903. So out of your top 3 so far, it looks like Steve Sheehan has been the quickest. The other one I really want to look at here is Mike Conti. It's lap 58. It's 30.968 for Mike Conti. So it looks like Steve Sheehan, when you look at consistent laps, has been consistently faster than the rest of the drivers, and it makes sense because he's been consistently up in front more than these other guys have.
Yeah, but now things changed up just a little bit. He's been in the lead all race long. He's got most laps led. He's got the bonus down for that. But now he's going to be starting this race from third. And just the fact that you have cars in front of you could change the way your car handles. And plus, too, just battling, one car in front of you could change things up, real quick. So he's back in third. I'm sure he would like to be out front, so you don't have to deal with this kind of stuff. But he's definitely been quick, and he'll probably be able to make his way up through again. But he's got to go from third.
And you look back there from the rear of Ray Alfala. He has his Twitter name on his car, Ray Alfala. I believe Steve Sheehan was going to get his Twitter name on the back of his spoiler as well. I don't think he had time to do so this week, though. That is I Am Steve Sheehan. So if you're looking to follow a couple of guys on Twitter, the JRM guys, at Ray Alfala and at I Am Steve Sheehan, as the lights should be out this time by, and next time by, we'll be returning to Green Flag Racing.
Alfala will be down on the inside, and Ottinger on the outside. Conte, who was running in second through this last pit stop, he finds his way back in the 5th position, and Patrick Baldwin able to have a good stop, who had a bad stop before. He's up in 4th, and his teammate there, Robert Hall, back in 7th. So Robert Hall struggling a little bit on pit road there. He's got his teammate again up in front of him, and Kevin King also in front of him.
So you got a couple of drivers moving back, a couple of drivers moving up through pit stops to see Brian Schoenberg is back in position number 10 and the number 55. Do not count him out as we work on here in these final few laps of the race. Lap number 90 will be completed this time by, which means we should have 44 laps remaining in this event when we take the green flag. Alfala, Ottinger, Sheehan, Baldwin, Conti, top 5. Kevin King, Robert Hall, Jason Karlovich, Alex Warren, and Brian Schoenberg, your top 10.
You notice Karlovich's car there, painted white. It's kind of plain. there up on the outside of the fourth row there. He's kind of making a statement. Pro Series driver trying to work his way into this series for next season with playing one car, probably looking for a sponsor right there, and showing in his last couple races in this series that he's going to be a contender.
Pace car in, field in control of Alfala. Green flag flies, and Alfala is away. Here comes the 6 to the inside of Ottinger. And we've seen this battle play out before 2 weeks ago, Nim, between the 6 and the 05.
Yeah, I think after looking at that, those guys are going to race each other a little bit smarter. Sheehan, he doesn't want to have any of it. He wants to make his way back to the front. He's put down Ottinger, moved his way in the second position. Now he's got to run down Ray Alfala.
Now Ottinger trying to run down the 6 as Steve Sheehan not wanting to let the Spy Optic Chevrolet out of his sight. Conti runs in 4th, and Baldwin completes your top 5 as it looks like Schoenberg and Karlovich, along with Michael J. Johnson, going at it for a position just inside the top 10.
Yeah, Karlovich up on the outside, Schoenberg down on the inside as they go in corner number 1. Schoenberg always tries to make up a lot of positions, or as many as he can, at the start of these restarts, but Karlovich trying to run, trying to be clean, trying to get the respect of all these drivers as he's just made it in the Pro Series, and just running everybody clean up top.
91 of Byron Daly now watching the battle in front of him between Karlovich and Michael J. Johnson as they battle for the spot. Carson McClellan and Chris Overland also back there looking to make something happen.
'39 car, Michael J. Johnson, he gets his way by Karlovich. Now Byron Daly is going to try to pick up that spot.
We're still green flag racing as Josh Berry went for a half spin and decided to terminate his connection in the number 72, and that's usually frowned upon in this series, as he will no longer be in the server anymore as we stay green flag racing.
We race on with Ray Alfala up front. Now he's being challenged by Steve Sheehan, 0.2 of a second back to teammates here, as Sheehan led most of this race and probably the best car on the track without a doubt. He's right there with Alfala coming off of corner number 4 now down the front straightaway.
You ride on the roof of Steve Sheehan as he chases down Ray Alfala in front of him, the Pro Geek Consulting Chevrolet Impala currently in the lead, but he has the Spot Optic Chevrolet all up in his rear.
Yeah, Sheehan not afraid to run close, as we saw a couple of weeks ago at Pocono, and now his teammate right in front, right there, right on his bumper. You got to race hard, and you got to race, but you also got to race smart. So Sheehan, and I'm sure he will, lap number 95 here, 134 in the race, about 39 laps to go from here. But right now, Steve Sheehan looking back off of Real. You see how close we are right there, real close as they go through the middle of the 2. Sheehan has to back off.
A little bit of a bump from the 2 to the 6 as he gets that bump. Does Ray Alfala, and Sheehan going to fall back a little bit here now as the 05 of Ottinger is closing in on Sheehan. So Sheehan maybe giving Ray a little bit of breathing room and maybe resetting himself, as it looks like King and the 82 are side by side.
Yeah, Sheehan struggling, maybe overheated those tires just a little bit right there. He's lost about 3 or 4 car lengths to Alfala. Sheehan seems to be picking up all his time right down there in the corner entry of corner number 1. Alfala very strong going down the back straightaway and off corner number 2 there. So Sheehan trying to struggle here a little bit as he's got a little bit of aero effect off of that 2 car.
55, 29, 39, 60, and 91 battling side by side as Schoenberg picks up a spot. Here comes 39 now on the inside of the 29 at Kevin King. I'm not sure what he did in that last pit stop there, Nim, but the 29's falling back.
Yeah, he's struggling. He didn't look really good at the beginning of the race and has been struggling a little bit here later in the race. So maybe some of these guys just making good pit stop, good choices on their setups, and then they've caught up to King. But right now, the 39 car of Michael J. Johnson making his way by Kevin King.
55 of Brian Schoenberg was in the box there. Your top 3 now being shown on the screen. Alfala, Sheehan, and Ottinger. And also Mike Conti closing in on this battle as well. So your top 4, throw a blanket over them within 0.6 of a second between your top 4.
As you ride Ingvar with Steve Sheehan, he's going to chase Ray Alfalo down the back straightaway. He wants to get by, but he's still stuck in that dirty area. And as wide as this track is, and as many different lines as you can take, the preferred line is the line you see him running right there. And when Sheehan is in that dirty area of Ray Alfalo, he's not able to get close enough to make a challenge on Ray. The air from the car in front will cause the car behind to lose a little bit of downforce, and that has a big effect on the car. As you see Sheehan able to dive into the corner number 1 right there, get right up close to Alfalo, but he can't get off of the corner, and Ray Alfalo, and you see Sheehan fighting that car coming off corner number 2.
Sheehan has to fight it. Now here comes Ottinger to lick the wound of the number 6 as the 05 looking to pick up position number 2. The 5 of Mike Conti is there as well. Sheehan trying to drive it for all it's worth in the second spot.
Sheehan able to gather itself back up. Ottinger not able to take advantage of that mistake off corner number 2. And again, you see Sheehan just pull away a little bit going down through corner number 1 right there. He's going to try to chase Ray Alfalo coming off corner number 2. Looks like Sheehan struggling off of 2 these last few laps here. And Ottinger trying to challenge again through 3 and 4.
Ottinger is there on the number 6 looking to make up a position. Maybe he can do it off corner number 2. Little loose again for the 6 of Steve Sheehan. The 5 of Ottinger may have got the wall as well. The 5 of Conti now looking out to the outside.
Yeah, I think the 05 car of Ottinger did pancake the wall right side of his car just a little bit. Coming off corner number 4 there, and that's allowing Conti to chase him down. It looks like Conti's going to get a run. Ottinger moved to the inside of the block a little bit, but Conti's right there.
And we said it off the top of the show, Nim, the 05 of Ottinger, one of those aggressive drivers, and will do anything to get a position. And once he's in the position, especially late in the race, he'll do anything to protect that position. And you saw it there on the 5 of Mike Conti as he protected position number 3 from the 5 of Conti.
Yeah, and looking right behind these guys, the 52 car of Patrick Baldwin and his teammate who've been running right together all race long, Robert Hall, they're starting to close in on this battle for 4th.
So the 6, the 05, and the 5 going at it for position number 2. Ray Alfalo is liking what he sees as he starts to pull away a little bit from the rest of this field.
You see Steve Sheehan right in front of Ottinger going down the corner number 1. Sheehan dives really hard in the 1, and then it looks like everybody else able to make up ground on Sheehan as they come off of corner number 2. And that's Sheehan doing a little bit better that last time by, but it looks like that's where Sheehan's struggling the most. He's best going in the 1, but struggles coming off of 2, and maybe it's a result of going in the 1 just a little bit too hard.
So the 6 trying to hold on over the 05 and the 5 as Steve Sheehan once again. He's dominated the first half of this race, Nim, and that's got to be frustrating for the number 6. And we talked to Steve earlier on in the season, and he called himself a streaky driver, and the fact that he does well for a few races, and then it seems like he falls off the map a little bit. Sheehan has been dominant this race so far, but once he's got back in traffic, the story's changed a little bit.
Yeah, he's currently 6th in points, so he's had himself a pretty good season. And a win here, a good top 5 here, is definitely could move him up 2 or 3 more spots in point. So currently 6th, and he had a good run at Pocono a couple weeks ago, but some questionable driving in that race cost him a number of spots. So, as we get down to it, he's got to put it all together, and he's not going to make those mistakes that cost him some of these positions. But right now, he's moving in on Alfalo, and he's going to make that challenge for the lead.
He's turned up the wick a little bit here. The 6 looking at the 2 for the lead position. The Spy Optics Chevrolet on the back porch of the Pro Geek Consulting Chevrolet Impala. The 2 teammates from JRM battling for the lead on 107.6 to the inside.
6 down to the inside. He gets a good run on corner number 1 right there, as we said before, and he struggles coming off corner number 2. We'll see this time how he does coming off corner number 2, and he keeps some momentum. He's able to keep that spot on Ray Alfalo going down the back straightaway, and that'll move Steve Sheehan back into the lead.
Sheehan to P1 on lap 107.2. Back to second. 05 of Ottinger looking for something to happen here is the 2. Tried to poke the nose underneath there, tried to get that run off 4, but nothing doing there. Your top 4 have broken away a little bit over the 52 of Pat Baldwin.
Yeah, these guys running really fast up front here right now. They got the handle on the rest of the field. But you know, these four cars are really close right now. Sheehan out front, he's got the clean air again, so we're going to see if he's going to be able to pull away from these guys. You can see the cars right in back. I'm running just a little bit lower on the track than Sheehan does. Maybe Sheehan knows a little bit something right there. Stays up in the second lane, able to get a good run down the front straightaway and pick up that lead by about 2 car lengths.
05 and 5 going at it, and throw the 2 into that mix as well, Nim, as they battle for position number 2. It looked like Mike Conti had the great run into corner number 1 that time, but just couldn't seem to do anything because the 05 was there.
Yeah, Ottinger is right there behind Alfala. Behind Alfala. I know he wants to get by Alfala as quick as he can and try to put the challenge on Sheehan. But Alfala, remember, that's Steve Sheehan's teammate. He's not going to make it easy on Ottinger to be able to get around him. But if Ottinger is able to get up there and gain position, Ray will certainly race him clean. So you know, he doesn't want to lose the possibility of a good finish.
Thinking points, and I'm sure Mike Conti is sinking points as well in the same token, but he's thinking that Ray Alfala has led some laps here this evening, and he's 2 positions ahead of the 5, which means there's 2 more points that he's going to lose, which means he might be a little bit closer to the 20-point behind mark than being closer to the 10-point behind mark, leaving this Kentucky Speedway if he does not pick up the pace here a little bit in these closing laps. Mike Conti going to need to dig a little bit deeper in order to make sure that he doesn't lose any more points.
You're on the ride on the roof here with Michael Conte as they head down the back straightaway into corner number 3. You can see how close those 2 positions are right there. If he can just be a couple of tenths up in front. Oh, and we see Ottinger really loose in front of Conte there. Ottinger able to gather it back up, but Conte now down to the inside, and Conte has position heading down the front straightaway.
Now, obviously, they lost a bunch of time there to Ray Alfala and the rest of this field. The 05 gets a great run in the middle of the corner and nearly got the 5 of Mike Conti there. But you saw Mike Conti in that live shot that we had as the 52 now goes underneath the 05, or tried to go underneath the 05 there. He backed off a little bit, let the 05 of Ottinger catch it, and then made that move on the front straightaway. That's a veteran-like move out of the number 5. Keep in mind, though, the driver of the 5 is only 15 years old.
Yeah, he's young, and you know, as we saw the Ottinger car get sideways there, what Conte wanted to do is he wanted to keep momentum up so he could once the 05 car gathered it back up, and Conte knew he would. Once he gathered it back up, he would be able to make that run down the front straightaway, which it did. Very, very professional move right there by the car of Michael Conte.
So the 52 now looking at the 05 as it looks like Jake Sturgis is pulling it onto pit road in the number 41 car. Robert Hall closing in as well. So Conti moves up to position number 3 behind Alfala and behind your leader Steve Sheehan, who begins to inch away with 21 to go.
Yeah, Sheehan now to looks like about a 7/10 of a second lead right now over Alfala. Alfala with what's going on, Conte chasing down Alfala since he passed Ottinger, so that battle for your championship is going to be right there, car to car, a mano right there as soon as they can get together.
The 5 closes in on the 2, the battle for the championship, about to be the battle for second if Conti can continue to dig just a little bit deeper and try to catch your second place driver.
Sheehan's lead out to just over a second right now. The yellow flag is out. Have to see what's going on.
58 around in the corner. That's Philip Geis as he draws the caution flag, and he looks like he has some damage to that race car. A lot of smoke coming from that 58. So Philip Geis goes around here, Nim, and he's got some heavy damage to that race car.
Yeah, he got loose coming off corner number 2. The 03 car of Cosper may have taken some air off of his rear spoiler, and he got up and got in the wall real hard coming off of corner number 2. And another car back there, I had to see who that is, not able to avoid and head-to-head, the 89 car of Landon Harrison. And those two cars hit head-on, and they got a lot of heavy front-end damage. And it looks like it's going to be the night, at least for Geis.
Oh, here we go. Leaders are coming down pit road here. We're going to have a pit stop with less than 20 laps to go. So this could end up being a big turn of events for some of these drivers as they try to gain some spots on pit road.
Yeah, well, they need good pit stops here. There's no doubt we're going to see some cars take 2 tires, maybe no tires. But some guys are going to make some moves to get up to the front here. And it might be questionable if Sheehan and Alfala come up out of this in the top.
I'm watching Conti's pit stop very quick. Robert Hall already gone in the number 30. Robert Hall is going to win this race off pit road handily. It's going to be Alex Warren and Kevin King battling for second. A lot of strategy being played here. 30 was 2 tires on the right-hand side.
Yeah, see, that's the problem with this is, some of these guys at back are going to take chances, and that Steve Sheehan, he's going to want to take 4 tires, and from my count, he's going to wind up 7th. And 7th place in the last few laps of a race where a caution just come out and everybody's going to be fighting for the finish. 7th place is not where you want to be.
I want to go back to the Las Vegas race here for a couple of moments. That's where Jake Sturgis was leading the race. We had a caution flag. Green flag pit stops were interrupted there. And Jake Sturgis and a couple of other drivers, Brandon Bookberger was one of them. I believe Chad Coleman was up there as well at the end of the race, Charles Cosper. They ended up benefiting from the circumstance that we had with that caution flag interrupting green flag pit stops. Albeit it is different here. Some of these guys on different agendas here late in the race. We're going to have about 16 laps to go or so when we go back to green. You have Robert Hall now up in front of the field. You have Kevin King in second, Alex Warren in third, Byron Daly fourth, Carson McClellan in fifth, I do believe. And then you have a couple of other guys back there as well looking to gain some spots. But Ray Alfala, Steve Sheehan, the 2 drivers that have really dominated this event in the second half of this event, are going to be outside the top 5.
Yeah, for Robert Hall and Kevin King, this is a great idea for them. They have no chance. They had no chance at this win on track. But now through pit strategy, they have a shot. You never know if we could get a couple of cautions here. These guys, we've seen how hard they race each other out early in the, with just a few laps to go. So Sheehan, he wants to go green from here. If he can get it to go green, he has a chance to run up through the field and get these spots back. But, as we see before, cautions breed cautions, and especially towards the end of this race when guys are making some crazy moves to get that finishing position they think they deserve. And, it's going to be hard. It's going to be really interesting now for the end of this race.
Speaking of Jake Sturgis, Sturgis is going to get the wave around, and I just got a message from Ray Alfala's crew. We talked earlier, Nim, about pedal issues, and I know I was talking to Ray Alfala and Byron Daly earlier on in the week. I know Byron especially was fighting some issues with his Club Sport pedals. I believe Ray Alfala, I could be wrong, but I believe he's using Club Sport pedals as well, and I just got a message from his crew. He's fighting pedal issues. He's not getting full throttle on his pedals right now. So when we're coming down to the final few laps of this race, that could be big for that 2 team.
Yeah, just like real world racing, sim racing here, you have mechanical equipment that you need to take care of, your computer, your wheel and pedal set, and such. And remember, folks, we haven't said it yet this broadcast, but if you like what you see and you want to be a NASCAR driver and race in a NASCAR series here at iRacing.com, head on over to www.iracing.com and you can try us out. For if you buy 1 month, you can get 2 months for free. So for the price of $12, you can get 3 total months here at iRacing.com.
Well, what's it going to be here? As the lights go off on top the pace car, we have Robert Hall leading this field. Kevin King in second, Alex Warren, Byron Daly, Carson McClellan completing your top 5. I keep going back to that Las Vegas race because we had so many different cars up in front at the end of that event, and we kept getting cautions at the end of it, which helped Jake Sturgis go to victory lane. Do we see that for Robert Hall or Kevin King here, possibly Alex Warren or Byron Daly? Or do we see the last few laps of this race, the last 15 laps or so, run green to the end, and do we see a guy like Steve Sheehan making his way through traffic?
Either one of those 2 scenarios are possible, but I'd bet, with everybody going as hard as they're going to want to get their positions. I think Robert Hall and King and Warren and Daly, they've made great calls, and they've made the calls that had to be made to shake up this field and give them a shot. Without that type of call, Sheehan's out front and runs away with it. But now, who knows what's going to happen.
So Robert Hall and Kevin King, Team Sim Chassis, on the front row with Alex Warren running in position number 3. Byron Daly looking for his first series victory, as is Carson McClellan in the number 46. Pace car in here. Here comes Robert Hall and the rest of the field. Hammer down. Green flag flies. Little spin of the tires by Alex Warren in third.
Yeah, it looks like a couple of cars are spinning the tires here. Sheehan's got a good run, but he's got nowhere to use it. He's trying to look to the inside. Carson McClellan blocks. Sheehan's right there on his bumper, but they all get away with it.
5 and 2 side by side, 4 wide, boys. I don't know if that's going to work or not. I don't know how they did that. 2 to the outside of the 46.
Yeah, I'm not sure they weren't 5 wide there, and this is what it's going to be coming down. Karlovich right there, they're battling out front, but the Steve Sheehan able to make a great move up to about the 3rd position now, or more. We'll have to check that, but he's made a number of passes going down the front straight with the last lap, and he's on his way back to the front.
Tyler Hudson making a breathtaking move as well to the inside. Hudson making a couple of passes 3 wide in front of them. Conti to the outside, 46. Going to fall back 2 spots. Here comes the 39 as 6 is in the wall. Steve Sheehan.
Yeah, Sheehan's loose up into the wall. He's going to lose a number of spots. He's able to save it right there, but he got loose, and now he's spinning around. He's going around again. He's back up in the wall again.
That 46 just sent him in the wall here as they're 3 wide in front of them. Daly, Davies is not going to save it. He's in the wall.
Yellow flag is out there for Davies spinning down the front straightaway.
And I believe Sheehan, after the caution flag came out, got a nudge from John Adams in the 84, and I'm not sure if the 6 possibly didn't come down on the 84 and didn't know he was there, Nim, and the 6 is into the wall from the front straightaway.
Yeah, again, he's got pretty minor damage there, but he's been in the wall 3 or 4 times the last few laps, and this is the kind of thing we talk about. Sheehan does a great job all race long, and he just gets into circumstances or whatever happens there at the end of the races that he's not able to put it together or bring it home, and he has before. He's won races this season, but in a consistent basis, Ray Alfala's up there, and Ray is still running in the 3rd position. But a number of these drivers getting together there, racing really hard, not making some so smart moves, and Sheehan's found his way back in the 16th position right now when he was up challenging for the lead.
So through all of that, your leader is Robert Hall. Kevin King is in 2nd. Ray Alfala is in 3rd. Somehow through all that, Alex Warren is in 4th. And Pat Baldwin completes your top 5. Sim Chassis right now has 3 drivers up in the top 5.
Hall looked good on that few restarts there. He was out and way ahead of the field. And Kevin King also able to hold on there real well also. But Ray Alfala now in that 3rd spot. He could challenge if it stays green, but as we saw in that last restart, the way they're racing, and especially with guys on old tires up front, some on new tires, it's just really, really crazy, and that we got the prime ingredients for another yellow flag to come.
Yeah, as you mentioned, we still have the opportunity to have one more yellow flag because we're going to have one more restart in this event, and if it comes quickly, we might have 2 more restarts of this event because you saw how crazy it was on that restart right there. Robert Hall, I'm sure, is holding his breath. If he can get 1 or possibly 2 more flawless restarts, he could be in victory lane here.
There was some great stuff going on there, man. There was that first lap after the restart. There were 5 wide going down the back straightaway, and through corner number 2, and they made it work. And they made it work a number of times where it was just amazing racing that was going on, but that they never really took a breath and got out of that. You can't do that forever without some type of incident that's going to happen. But they got away with it a number of times before the incident happened.
And as we mentioned, points implications, we saw Mike Conti nearly get into, I believe it was the 46 car maybe, as they were going the 3 and 4 wide. Ray Alfala had some close moments as well, as the 2 of Alfala now runs in position number 3, and the 5 runs in position number 6. So these guys, as you see this action that's been going on, the points guys are still up there in the top 6.
Yeah, they're not only fast, they're smart, and they're smart every race, and that's how they get up there. Ray currently running third, Conte top 6 there. You know, another guy will give a call out to the Pro Series driver, Jason Karlovich. He's running up in the top 8 now, and he had a good strong run in Pocono too. So that's somebody we're going to have to keep a look on for next season. Michael J. Johnson having a really good run tonight. He's in 7th place. So good job for a good race so far for all those guys.
And you look at some guys that really needed a good night, and you got to feel for Steve Sheehan after being up in front and dominating this race, currently in 16th place on the racetrack. He came in 6th in the standings. Pat Baldwin having a good night, 5th place on the racetrack, 5th in the point standings. Kevin King, 4th in the standings, 2nd on the racetrack. Ottinger, almost the same situation as Steve Sheehan, was up in the top 5 for a long while here this evening, and he's back to 11th now.
Yeah, Ottinger's definitely suffered through this a little bit. I'm not sure exactly what. We'll have to go back and look at the replay to see what happened with Ottinger there. But you're right. He's about 7 or 8 spots down from where he should be.
So 10 laps to go, working under caution here. So we'll have at least one more restart to this event. Robert Hall hoping it maybe stays green and he can walk away with, I believe, Nim, I could be wrong, but I believe this would be his first NASCAR iRacing.com Series World Championship victory. He has a couple of wins in the Pro Series, but I believe this would be his first win in the big dance.
He's been strong. You know, he's shown a lot of good races all season long, and he's been right there. He's been right there in this race all season long. We got 10 to go as the pace car went by the line the last time by. But you know, hopefully we can keep it together and get a good run on this race. Ray Alfala, I think, is going to have something to say about it though. There in third.
And while we have the opportunity one last time and one more opportunity for you to get your tweets in for that $25 iRacing gift card, it's Kentucky NiSWC. That's hashtag Kentucky NiSWC. Tell us your thoughts about the race. Join in on the conversation, and you could win a $25 iRacing gift card for doing so on Twitter. So once again, that is Kentucky NiSWC. Hashtag that on Twitter. Of course, Twitter is free to join up and join in on the conversation. And, of course, you can follow Byron Daly at 3Wide Daily. JDR Graphics is on that race car as well, the number 91. I'm on the deck lid of that race car at Tim Terry 0 and Tweet Tim's Corner. So a couple of different ones you can follow on there. And if you go to my personal account, Tim Terry 0, I listed off a bunch of these NASCAR iRacing.com Series World Championship drivers who do have Twitter accounts that you can go ahead and follow them on there as well. So once again, last call to get your tweet in for the $25 iRacing gift card contest, hashtag Kentucky NiSWC. And last call for this restart because we're about to go green.
Robert Hall down the inside, his teammate up on the outside. Ray Alfala has been very strong through the whole race, and he's right there in third. He's got fresh tires on. Hall and King do not. So if Alfala is able to get a couple of laps here of green flag run, he can make a challenge. But that's the trick here, Tim. He's going to need some green laps, and the way these guys are going at it, we'll have to see if we get those.
If Ray Alfala can get full throttle and not have any pedal problems, watch for the two to be strong here. But he's got to get past 2 quick cars in front of him, and I'm sure they will not roll over because they want to win this race. Pace car is in, and here comes Robert Hall. Green flag flies, and Kevin King keeping lockstep with your leader. Kevin King is clear low, and he might have the chance here to possibly mount a charge for his teammate for the win.
Yeah, his teammates, they worked together there on that restart. You saw them get away at the same time. Alex Warren there and Michael Conti banging fenders coming off corner number 2 right there. Michael J. Johnson right there with him. Conti up on the outside. Alex Warren down on the inside, going down the back straightaway.
And as you mentioned, Michael J. Johnson is there as well, looking to make something happen. Jason Karlovich, Schoenberg, and McClellan, as here comes Alfala on King for second. Battles all over this racetrack.
Conti bang up on the outside of Alex Warren, going down the front straightaway. Warren wanted to close the door, and the yellow flag is out.
Caution flag will fly here as the 17 of Brandon Bookberger, I believe. No, that's 16. Check that, of Thomas Lewandowski around.
Yeah, it looks like a 17 car may have gotten touched there by the 15 car there coming through the tri-oval, and that got the 17 car out of shape, and the 16 car had nowhere to go. And both those cars went crashing down the front straightaway and into corner number 1.
Yeah, Josh may not have known that the 17 was there, but Jake Sturgis took a heck of a lick on the 16 of Thomas Lewandowski, and I'm sure that will end the night for the Nationwide Insurance Chevrolet Impala of Thomas Lewandowski. Hard hit from the 41.
Yeah, it looks like his day is done. Lap 128, that wreck happens on at 134 hours, so we'll get another restart before the end of this race.
And Sturgis had a couple of lucky dogs to get himself back on the lead lap here. We're going to step away for just a quick moment, and we will be back for the finish, the final restart of this event. Hall leads King, Alfala, Baldwin, and Warren, your top 5. Welcome back to the NASCAR iRacing.com Series World Championship. Big board in the infield, Nim, shows 4 laps remaining, so it looks like we might have a 2-lap dash to determine the winner of this event. Green-white checker, I guess, if you really want to call it that. Robert Hall, Kevin King, Ray Alfala, Patrick Baldwin, Alex Warren, your top 5.
Yeah, the 2 cars up front, our teammates, Robert Hall and Kevin King, they did a really good job of working together and calling that restart there when the pace car left. They're allowed to go, and that's when they went, and you could tell they both went at the same time, so their spotters working together there and allowing them to get away, and that put the kibosh on a challenge from the Ray Alfala car, and it would have taken Ray a number of laps to chase him back down and make a challenge. So if they're able to do that again, they'll be in good shape for this win. But Ray, he saw it once, and I doubt he's going to let it happen again.
The Viper, Landon Harrison, going to get the free pass on this caution flag and get back on the lead lap, so we'll see what he can do in 2 laps to move from position number 30. Now, the one thing that I'm noticing here, too, Nim, the 52 of Patrick Baldwin, he's a teammate of Sim Chassis. He's going to start on the outside of row number 2. He's going to start there just behind Kevin King. Now you look at who's going to start behind him. It's Michael Conti in the number 5. Alfala starts on the inside of row number 2. If those guys go on this restart, and obviously you talked about the voice communication, 29 and 30 go, the 52 goes. If the 5 can keep up with them, then we might very well have a battle between the 2 and the 5 and the 82 coming down to the end of this thing to try to pick up a couple of points.
Yeah, definitely. And getting it, the thing about points here is you want to be careful of who you're racing around, because these guys are hungry for trying to get that position, and they make crazy moves just to pick up those 1 or 2 spots for the points. And we got guys on old tires, guys on new tires, but the key is you got to finish. You can't be wrecked out by some silly maneuver or silly move. And there's some of these guys up in the top 5, top 10 here that are fighting for points, and there's some guys that are way out of the points, and they just want the win. So that mix is a volatile mix, and it could have some repercussions that are gonna hurt a lot. That don't need a good finish.
So we come down to this restart with 2 laps remaining. 2-lap dash to determine the winner of this event at the Kentucky Speedway. Round number 10 of the NASCAR iRacing.com Series World Championship. Who's it going to be? Robert Hall, Kevin King, Ray Alfala, Pat Baldwin, Alex Warren. Your top 5. Alfala up to the bumper of the 30, letting him know that he is there. Here comes the pace car in, and here comes Robert Hall to the green flag. Great start for the 30 and great start for the 2. Kevin King caught sleeping on the outside.
Yeah, King didn't have a good start at all, and the 52 car Baldwin wants to get by, and he's got nowhere to go. The guy hot up and bunching up here, going down through corner number 1. Ottinger's down the inside of Schoenberg.
I don't know if they're going to make it back for this white flag here, Nim, the way they are racing back here. 55 to the inside of the 39, 3 wide, going into the corner, 52 and 5 going at it. We're 3 wide mid-pack as they're going to see the white flag this time.
Robert Hall, as Ray Alfala slips, coming off corner number 4 right there. He's going to let a number of drivers get a run on him down the front straightaway, but Robert Hall way out front.
They're going to get the white flag here, Nim, so they will race this back to the line. The 2 of Ray Alfala, he might have that full throttle issue on his pedals as he lost those 2 positions. The battle is for second. Alex Warren going to take position number 2. Here comes Ray Alfala to the inside of Kevin King. Mike Conti there as well. Conti looking to pick up a couple of points at the end. Meanwhile, at a corner number 4, Robert Hall is going to come to his first NASCAR iRacing.com Series World Championship victory. Hall wins at Kentucky. Second goes to Alex Warren. Third is Ray Alfala. Photo finish for 4th, and Kevin King will take the spot over Mike Conti.
Yeah, a lot of real good racing on the last lap. Michael J. Johnson got himself in trouble. He had a crash up in corner number 3 there on that last lap, but good race back to the end.
So Robert Hall goes to victory lane for his first win in the NASCAR iRacing.com Series World Championship. Alex Warren, what a great run. Alex Warren has been trying to put together a race this season, and he finally did so for a second-place run at Kentucky. That's as big of a story as Robert Hall winning this event here this evening, I think, Nim. Ray Alfala 3rd, Kevin King 4th, and Mike Conti in 5th.
Yep, 6 through 10, Patrick Baldwin. Jason Karlovich in 7th, good run for him. Brian Schoenberg, 8th place. Nick Ottinger, 9th. And Dylan Duvall, another Pro Series driver, brings it home in the 10th position.
Looking back, 11th through 20th, Tyler Hudson, Chris Overland, Byron Daly, 13th, John Adams, 14th, and Carson McClellan, after running so strong early in the race, finishes in 15th. Josh Lawton, 16th, rebounds from a spin. Brad Davies in 17th, 18th, Steve Sheehan, after dominating this race early. Brian Blackford, 19th, and Florian Goddard, 20th.
21st, on back to 30th is Josh Connors. 21st, 22nd is Charles Cosper. Brendan Buschberger, 23rd. 24th will be Chad Coleman. Cyril Nussbaum, the French connection, brings it home 25th. Philip Geis, 26th. Landon Harrison, 27th. Jake Sturgis will be 28th. Michael J. Johnson, who got caught out there at the very end of the race from a top 10 finish, he will finish in the 29th spot. Thomas Lewandowski, 4 laps down, will bring it home 30th.
Everybody from 31st on back is laps down or out of the race. Fayash, Sansone, Chris Main, Josh Berry, Thomas Hazard, Marcus Lindsay, Richie Davidovich, John Gorlinski, Patrick Fogel. We step away for just a few moments' time as we watch the replay of those final couple of laps, and we will set up here for the post-race show where we will talk to your top 5 finishers. Don't go away. We'll be right back from Kentucky. Jeremy is Richard Taylor. The rookie trying to grab his first win. And the true NASCAR champion is Richard Taylor. Number 7 of Richard Taylor. RT is $10,000 to Richard. Welcome back to the NASCAR iRacing.com Series World Championship, round number 10 from the Kentucky Speedway, and an exciting finish, bringing it down. Robert Hall wins his first NASCAR iRacing.com Series World Championship event, and he is down in victory lane with Nim Cross.
Robert Hall here in victory lane at Kentucky Motor Speedway, able to bring it through a great last pit stop. Tell us about that pit stop, and tell us about pulling away for the win.
I pretty much decided I was going to take 2 tires before I got on pit road, and Carson was telling me how it worked for him earlier in the week during some testing, and I figured I'd have a little cushion with some other guys on 2, so I took 2, taped it up, and it was hooked up. I was kind of hoping it would go green. I got a huge gap after that first restart, but I guess the cautions there kind of helped me too also.
Well, there was some crazy racing behind you, and I'm sure you're glad you weren't a part of that. But all race long, Robert, you were there fighting with your teammates right around the fifth position, and maybe a couple of those pit stops in the middle of the race, you fell back a little bit. But that last caution there, where you made your way back up and made that two-tire stop, that was the key to this. But before that, you didn't have anything for anybody ahead of you.
No, it seemed like the top four up there, they were just really fast the first 15, 20 laps of the run. But me and Pat, we were pretty good at the back end of the run. It's just you have that huge gap. It's just too late to make it all up. But it was a lot of fun battling with Pat.
Tell us about how you feel. Anything else about this win? What you think about Dover coming up, and then tell us who makes it happen for you.
Yeah, I just honestly can't believe I won a race. This is pretty cool, but yeah, Dover should be pretty good. We ran Class A there a few weeks ago. I think I got something pretty good for a base already, so we should see all the Sim Chassis guys running in the top 10 again. And I just want to thank all of my teammates for all the hard work. We've really put in a lot of hard work, and it's been a lot of fun working with them. And I want to thank you guys for the broadcast and iRacing for putting on the series. It's been a lot of fun.
Robert, you came into this race 10th in points. This win should move you up in points, maybe getting close to the top 5 there. What do you feel? What are your goals for the end of the season in points?
I just really want to. I know the championship's probably way out of the question now, but a good top 5. I want to try to get to the top 5 anyway. I made a mistake at Charlotte and got wiped out at Pocono, but hopefully I can keep knocking down some top 10, top 5, and maybe get back up around 5th or so.
Well, Robert, you are a NASCAR iRacing.com Series World Championship winner here at the Kentucky Motor Speedway, and we want to congratulate you on that. And we're going to send it over to Tim, who's caught up with your second place finisher and Pro Series champion, Alex Warren.
Driver number 82, sponsored by GSRacing.net, Alex Warren, comes home in position number 2. That's a little bit better than the first couple of races of the season.
Oh yeah, it is definitely. This race tonight was just flat out awesome. I'll just start by that, but it's crazy. It was. But yeah, overall the race was fun, and I had a lot of doubt with the setup beforehand, but after we went in the run, it was pretty good.
Let's talk about that restart with 2 laps to go. You started in position number 5. How did you end up in position number 2 in 2 laps?
Well, before that, I was sort of thinking about my usual restarts. On my team speak, everyone calls me the restart king. They're sarcastic because I'm like the worst one on the team with restarts. So I just figured Robert would just, go when the pace car went, and I went, a little bit before him, it looked like, and I had to slow up a little bit, but then I gassed it, and I got under Kevin, and then I was in 3rd, and I saw Ray coming to the white. He just washed it up, and I knew he was going to block low, so I went to the middle, and I got the 2nd, and somehow I held him off with 2 tires. To be honest with you, I thought everyone behind me would just tape up and have 50 tape on, or possibly even more, and just blow past me. I was a little worried about that, and but it really wasn't a factor because there was so little laps in the end that it really didn't matter how much tape you had, and I'm just glad that everything went our way tonight. Yeah, everything just went our way tonight, and came out 2nd somehow.
You've had a rough start to the season, 27th in points coming into this evening. This has to help you get into that top 25. It has to give you a little shot in the arm, a little bit of momentum heading into the second half of this season coming down the stretch.
Oh yeah, definitely. It definitely does. First couple races, felt like I had decent cars where I can get in the top 20. But I've gotten up in someone else's accidents, or I did a bonehead move and I wrecked myself. But everything started to turn around at Pocono. We ran top 5 most of the race, and I could have finished top 5, but I made some bonehead moves and I got home 11th. Tonight I just played it, just conservative at the start with the setup. And I'm gonna tell you a story about the setup. My setup was just junk. I ran it yesterday, wrecked out, and I was gone all day basically, and I had like no time to practice. And my teammate Cody Bias, he made a setup and said it was really good, and I just rolled with it, and I ran a little bit and with it before the race, and it felt the best I've had. And I had a lot of doubt before starting this event because it was Kentucky's such a bumpy racetrack, and the front end was just hitting the ground, and I noticed throughout the race everyone was just beating us in 3 and 4. But we made adjustments, and my crew chief Adam Gillen, he made a good call before the race to make an adjustment on our tires, and we did a lot better throughout the run than we would have if we kept them. And I'd like to thank those 2 gentlemen right off the bat because they really helped me tonight. And without them and my sponsors, GSRacing.net, JD Laird for painting my car, Core Pipe, none of this would be happening for me. I'd be, sponsorless, and I wouldn't have gotten second night without the help of everyone. So I'd like to thank them all.
You had the opportunity to thank your sponsors there. I'll ask one more question before we close off the interview, Alex. Dover comes up in 2 weeks' time. A little bit of a different animal than what we've had in the last couple of races. We go from the wide-open Pocono to a little bit of a wide-open track here in Kentucky with the little tight corners coming off. Dover, high-bank concrete, 1-mile racetrack. What do we expect out of the series here in 2 weeks?
Well, I think you're going to expect, some awesome side-by-side racing. It's going to be tight. Everyone's going to be jockeying for position, trying to stay in the bottom groove, or at least, maybe half a groove above the bottom. And it's going to be, I think it's going to be a great race next week. And these past couple of races have been really fun. I mean, not just for me, but I know a lot of people have been liking these races as of late because we've been having some long green flag runs, and I think Dover will be that because we're going to be single file. We're going to try to be cautious and not cause accidents, and I think it'll be a lot of fun, Dover. But if there's going to be wrecks, it could cause some major problems for guys because you've seen it in the Sprint Cup Series and in iRacing virtual world. If there's people wrecking ahead of you, you have nowhere to go. And but I think it'll be a really good race. And I hope it's good for myself and not getting someone else's accident or cause one myself. But I think it'll be a good race, and hopefully we can keep the momentum up with 82 GSRacing.net Chevrolet Impala, and just keep chugging along and just hopefully finish in the top 25 in points by the end of the year, and just hope that we do it. And I'd like to thank all my teammates for helping me throughout the whole season. I couldn't have done it without everyone, and my sponsors as well. And hopefully we can just do another great finish at Dover. Hopefully win it.
And this finish should help Alex Warren be up in the top 25 when we head to the Dover racetrack in just a couple of weeks' time. That's Alex Warren coming home in position number 2, your 2011 Pro Series champion. And speaking of champions, Nim Cross has caught up with Ray Alfala.
Yeah, down here with your 2011 NASCAR iRacing.com Series World Champion, chip winner, and that's Ray Alfala. Ray, you brought it home in third tonight. A pretty uneventful race up there till the end. Tell us about your race.
It was pretty eventful for me, just because I felt like a fat kid riding go-karts out there with 90% throttle all the way around. I don't even know when the problem started. I guess it started somewhere in the last run when I was racing for the lead with Steve. It just wouldn't get to 90%, so I have to hit it really hard, and then by the end of the race I was never even getting full throttle ever. So I guess it could have been worse, but it's just frustrating. You can't even do anything on the straightaways because pedals decide to not work.
So with that kind of problem, bringing home in third place, that's a pretty good run. Tell us about that last couple of restarts where you were 4 or 5 wide on some of those restarts. Tell us about how that was.
That restart when we went 12 wide in turn 2. I think Steve tried to go 3 wide under Carson, and I sort of panicked and moved up a little. And then up there they went 3 wide, and we were all over the place in turn 2. I guess that's why I say it could have been worse. I could have been caught in a wreck there. But it came down to the end, and I got a good restart on Robert, and I was just, when you have something like a gas that doesn't go all the way, you feel like you have to make up for it. And I overdrove in turn 4 and got loose and cost myself at least second place. I think I could have challenged for the win there. I had 4 tires and 50 tape. So, I'm bummed out. I mean, it's third place, so it's pretty good, but just really mad about these pedals.
Yeah, well, I'm sure that you have time to get those sorted out a little bit, but after this race, you have a 16-point lead now, unofficially, on second place driver Michael Conte. You're stretching out the point lead. You got Dover coming up. Tell us about Dover and tell us about your prospects for defending that championship.
Dover's a really fun track. It's pretty much a Bristol on steroids. So we're doing like over 170, almost 180 miles an hour on a 1 mile track there. So last year got second, had a good car. Looking forward to it. It's still, even though there's only I think 7 races left, since there's a race every 2 weeks, it feels like an eternity. So, and Michael and Nick are right there. So it's not even. I'm not comfortable at all, so I'll just keep fighting hard.
All right, Ray, good job on your third place finish tonight. Even struggling through those pedal problems and through those final restarts. Tell us who makes the heaven for you.
Yeah, I want to thank Broken Consulting, JDR Graphics for this paint scheme. It's the last one I think we run this season, unless there's a night race I don't know about. But thanks to them. Also, thanks for Junior Motorsports, all the help all the guys did through the week. PSR TV, iRacing. Also want to thank the guys at Inside Sim Racing. They provided me with some really cool equipment a few weeks ago, and I didn't have a chance to thank them last week as I did finish in the top 5, but thank you to them. And also, I never thank them, but I need to thank my parents because they're my biggest supporters, and my dad's actually been helping me a lot with the pedal problems lately, and I guess we'll go right back to work at it or just throw them off a cliff.
All right, Ray, good job on your third place finish tonight. We're going to send it up to Tim Terry, who's caught up with your fourth place finisher, Kevin King.
Kevin King has finished in position number 4 here this evening. Wild restart at the end of it. Walk us through it.
Yeah, Rob and I had a plan of getting out as fast as possible just to give him a good cushion, and I just plain didn't go. I was just not really ready, even though I thought I was. I just didn't go. So the next 2 laps for me on the high side, scraping and banging the track as hard as I could, and thankfully was able to get Mark's run off a turn forward and end up 4th.
You passed a lot of cars to get where you are here this evening. Started in position number 12 about midway through the field. Talk about that long green flag run there, or everybody had to feel it with the head.
Yeah, the green flag run was really fun. I was getting frustrated just for the fact that I couldn't figure out turn 3. Every time I felt like I was going to the corner, I would bottom out really, really bad, and it would shoot me up the track. And so I'd back it up a little bit more, and I felt like I was giving up too much on entry. So turn 3 entry was just a real struggle the entire night. I felt like that was where I was missing most of the time. I'd hit it every once in a while, then lose 2 tenths, and hit it and lose 2 tenths. So it was a little frustrating at times, but I felt like at that point, I was top 10, 7th or so. That was going to be pretty much where I finished, but I was going to be okay with that, just because I was just off. I couldn't figure it out, so it was what it was. But the long green flag was run. It was really, really showing how good this series can be in terms of racing.
Looking at the points picture right now, unofficially 4th place in the standings, 21 points ahead of your teammate Pat Baldwin, and 20 points behind Nick Ottinger for position number 3 without that drop factored in there. What are you looking at for points coming down the stretch here?
Well, top 5 would be pretty awesome, considering I had 3 miserable weeks to start the race or start the season. Going forward, I just think we need to work on some stuff a little bit harder. This next couple of weeks, I think we're missing just a little bit. But I'm so happy that Robert still got a win. He's deserved it, obviously. Last couple of weeks, if not the entire season, he works so hard and making us really good and figuring things out that if I finish last and he finishes first, I mean, I'd probably be one of the happiest guys out there because he's just that cool of a guy. So going forward, I think we have Dover next. I don't really like the track too much, but I seem to drive around there pretty well. And then we have Indianapolis. Dover will be pretty key in terms of getting things set up and making sure it drives correctly and the tire wear is still on there. So from there we go to Indy. Will just be it should be pretty interesting. So we'll see.
Big night for Team Sim Chassis for sure. Before we let you go, Kevin, you got some sponsors on the race car, and you got some people you want to thank. Who makes it happen for Kevin King?
Alpine Stars, Razors, Hot Tamale, Murphdog Motorsports, Sim Chassis, all those guys, especially Pat this week. Like I said, I couldn't really get a handle on the track. It just wasn't real comfortable for me. He helped me out big time, as all the guys do every single week. Tim's Corner, of course. Trading Paint, Steve Livender. I'm about to load up the program right now and just F5 the rest of the night. And iRacing, of course. You know, they all do a great job of promoting the series and making it what it's worth. PSR TV for broadcasting. My wife for letting me do this every other Tuesday. And all the good drivers that seem to be getting this series better every single time we go out there. Gives general discussion less things to talk about.
That's Kevin King coming home in position number 4 here this evening in car number 29. Going to kick it over to Nim Cross, who has caught up with our 5th place finisher, the 5 of Mike Conti.
Mike Conti brings her home in the fifth place tonight. Mike, a great run out there for you. Tell us about it.
It was a good race. We had nice green flag runs there a little bit. It got pretty crazy at the end there. I was just biding my time the first 3/4 of the race with 25% tape on. Steve was out there flying with 50 on for the most part, so I wasn't really worried about getting him. I was just worried about trying to get up to 2nd or 3rd just to get some clean air and kind of drive away a little bit. And we had one kind of pit stop that put us back a little bit. We had to dig out of that hole, and we did that. And then last restart, or the last pit stop there, took 50% tape and 4 tires, and 5 or 6 guys took 2, and I don't believe they taped it up, or I don't know what they did, but I know they definitely took 2. They got out real quick, so that kind of created a little bit of havoc there in the restarts. I'm sure you guys could see that from where you were watching. It was 4 or 5 wide a couple times. I'm not really quite sure how we made it through there like that, but we did, and we should, because we're in the series. We should be able to go and do things that most people can't. So good job by all of us to not wad it up there. But my car is really good tonight. I think it could have won. I mean, I just really never got to see what it would do on an uneven playing field with Steve. But I'm happy to come home in 5th. We could have gotten wrecked there really easy at the end with all those restarts. So it's just good to come home 5th and not lose too many points to Ray.
No, you in the middle of the restart, you talked about it a little bit. You got yourself up in the 2nd position, and Ray was right behind you there in 3rd. And if you weren't chasing down Steve, you were holding a good speed with him. At that point, did you think you had a chance? You were low. You say you were low on tape. What does tape do for you? It makes you faster. Does it make the car looser at all?
Usually it will. Like I said, I didn't really get enough time at the end there to test it out, but what it's supposed to do is it's supposed to add more downforce in the nose. Should push the nose down into the track a little bit more and just make you kind of cut through the corner a little bit better. So with 25% tape, we were a little bit tight in the center and loose off. I think with the 50% tape, if we could have had enough of a run, I think it would have helped the center. I don't know what it would have done off. It might have made it a little bit worse, but I think the car really would have come to life on 50% tape, and to be able to hang on to Ray with less tape, or Steve, that is, with less tape, if we would have had the same tape, I think we could have run him down and possibly gotten by him. So it's good to know that, we had a good car under us tonight. It gives me confidence for next week. It's just a matter of closing out the deal now. I've come real close quite a few times this season. It's about time to finally break through, I think.
Mike, you had another good finish. You brought it home in the top 5. That's a good for you in points. You still lost a couple to Ray, probably about 16 points back now. But it's still another good finish. What are your prospects looking like? We got 7 races to go. Dover next week. What are you thinking?
Well, I mean, we're still in distance to Ray. I mean, there's really still a good shot for us to be able to get up there and challenge him. I think we're really on their pace now. I think we're a little bit behind when the build came out, but tonight we ran really well, and I'm sure we can carry that on to Dover and Michigan or wherever we go next. So I'm going for this championship. I think I got a good shot. Ray's a little bit more experienced than me in this. He did it last year, and he ran the year before too and had a good finish. So he's got the experience, but I'm just going to try to get up there and just keep clicking off finishes and hope that this consistency pays out in the end.
Well, you definitely have a better shot than anybody else in the series right now, and doing a great job in your rookie season or inaugural season here in the NASCAR iRacing.com Series World Championship. Tell us who makes it happen for you.
Well, tonight was pretty special. We had a lot of different things going on. We had JD at his old Twitter palooza going on with all the cars. I'm sure you guys saw that. So, that was on the car. We had a special name above the door, Kim Ward. She's a breast cancer patient right now. She's going through a lot of last-minute surgeries. So, we put her above the door just to show that we're thinking about her, and we wish her and her family the best of wishes and hope for speedy recovery. So that was for her. We had our seat, which is usually the associate sponsor. We had our seat USA as a one-off deal as a primary sponsor. So it was cool for them to be on there and give them a good finish. But, it's rseatusa.com for them. Great gaming rigs, sitting in one right now, nice and comfortable, so that's really cool. InsideSimRacing.tv, those guys really make it happen too. They're always on board. DCS Computers, ETV Live, Hearsay Sports Cutters, the Bethwood, CB Photography, GSRacing.net. There's a whole laundry list of them. My parents, you always got to thank your parents, because without them, none of us would be doing this right now. So, I've got to thank all those people, and they get me here every week, and they're what makes me run good every week.
All right, very good, Michael. Just a reminder to everybody, the next broadcast is June 30th. The Inside Sim Racing event on that day, and so see us CSPSR TV for that event, and we'll throw it up to Tim Terry right now, who's caught up with your Twitter winners.
We do have the winners here. A couple of runner-ups first. We have ARG Man 252 Kentucky NiSWC, watching my first ever full race for the NiSWC series. New to iRacing and having a blast pulling for the boys in the 42 and 2 cars. So it looks like Duval and Alfala have a couple of new fans there. Super Mario 64. The JRM crew reminds me of Dale Jr. Not always winning, but extremely consistent. And Cody Bias, one of the drivers that you're going to see in this series sooner rather than later, one of the graduates of the Class A series. 5 wide in Turn 1 in Kentucky. That's incredible. The best drivers in sim racing at the Kentucky NiSWC event. Your winner is Brandon Odo 24. I like those paint schemes with the Twitter accounts, but too bad they're going 4 wide because I can barely read the sides of them. And that is your winner. Contact PSR TV. I will be in contact with you. We'll get you your $25 iRacing gift card for that tweet. And we want to thank you all for being a part of the conversation here this evening. And Byron Daly putting out the word on his car as well. And JDR Graphics putting that out as well. Final thoughts here, Nim. Fantastic show.
Really did have a good race. A lot of green flag running. Steve Sheehan dominated the race overall, unable to bring it home tonight. Really some wild racing there at the end. Dover, very exciting track coming up in 2 weeks, and that should be real good too.
Going to be some high-banked excitement, and as Ray called it, it's essentially Bristol on steroids. 2 weeks' time, you're going to want to be here for it, for round number 11 of the NASCAR iRacing.com Series World Championship, as the road to $10,500 rolls through Delaware. That's going to do it for us here this evening. So for the whole PSR TV crew, Ilka Happala, Ian Bushing, Zach Stanko, Chuck Johnson, Matt Racing Kid Thomas, Chuck Johnson, the rest of the crew. I'm probably forgetting a few Nim Cross. My name is Tim Terry, saying we will see you in 2 weeks' time when we say, let's go racing from the Dover International Speedway. Put the hammer down, and we'll see you at the track.